Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I am Jerome Gayman, your host. Today is August the 14th, basically the midweek or mid-month. The second half of the year is almost here and gone. So call your friends, tell your friends, the closing argument is on. We have a special guest today, Honorable Zilga Wilson, the former Minister of Youth and Sports, will be here to discuss issues, politics, solution, CDC, eviction, Supreme Court, all going to be discussed. Share the show, make your comments, let us know where you're tuning in from. We want to welcome our folks in Radio Land, Care Radio, obviously Hot FM, Truth FM. We are live all over the nation. There are a lot of trending issues in Liberia, topics. A bombshell was drafted and dropped at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. The Deputy LDEA boss says, as I will say it here openly, he says, quotation begins, from the executive, first branch of government, and to the judiciary. You go in these sectors, you will find somebody with drugs. The reason is very simple, he says. Drug is lucrative business in Liberia, and everybody wants money. Everybody wants to get rich. I repeat, the Deputy LDEA boss, that Liberia has become a nation of drugs. Last week, I gave you a scenario, and you guys were laughing at me. I told a story that I grew up in Bassa, where one time people observed a rogue, and everybody began to chase the rogue, saying, rogue, 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 rogue. As the crowd grew, not knowing the rogue himself had joined the parade and yelling and screaming, rogue, rogue, and we just kept running. But who is the rogue? The rogue is among us. I won't be surprised he's the guy that was beating the pan. I said this here last week. I said, do not give credence to this march about drugs. It was staged, managed. Up to today's date, no one can tell me who organized, who financed the drug march. So I have been vindicated by the Deputy LDEA boss. He says, I am tired, basically, and I'm going to say it in the open. I'm going to spill the beans. He put his hands up. He said, I'm going to say it here today. I say it openly. From the executive, the first branch of government, down to the judiciary. You go in these sectors, you will find somebody with drugs. The reason is very simple, he says. Drug is a lucrative business in Liberia, and everybody wants a piece of the pie. Didn't I tell you this last week? Who were printing those T-shirts? Who were printing those banners? And who are those people from the upper and elite classes walking around? Who do you think got them there? The former president of the United States, Bill Clinton, used to say, when you are traveling down a country road and you see the turtle sitting on top of a pole, you can rest assured somebody put that turtle there because turtles don't climb. That was Bill Clinton. A march that has no name, that has no organizers, that has no head, no tail, you can rest assured it is the government. Today, I have been vindicated. Not innuendo, not gossip. The deputy LDEA boss said it in public at the Myean conference. We will discuss this later, but he says, I say it openly. From the executive to the judiciary, everybody has drugs. And the reason is very simple. Drug is very lucrative in Liberia. You're not hearing this from the gossip column. You are not hearing it from the Chichipole. You're hearing it from the deputy DA director. Also, while we wait for our guests to get in the studio, two competing front page newspapers. The Liberian investigator says CDC takes eviction fight to the Supreme Court, cites breach of sale agreement. That's the Liberian investigator. Then on the front page Africa, it says CDC prepares for possible relocation, announces appeal to the Supreme Court over headquarters dispute. I go back to the Liberian investigator. On the front page, it says Zago said white guy is behind his removal in a political witch hunt. That's Steve Zago. Stay with the Liberian investigator. It says China's Myean group to invest $100 million in Liberia's agriculture sector. Those are the major headlines. I'm now going to go into the closing argument newsroom. And with me is Myean, our journalist, our correspondent, the guy who chases every story. He runs faster than the keke. I will hear him today. The guys are saying, give me 500 to take you. He said, let's go. I got to be there. Myean, welcome to the show.
Thank you ever so much, Mr. Gayman. I would like to appreciate you for always coming on, and then our public and to our listening audience who are always at 9 o'clock, they always tune into the radio to listen to the closing argument with Mr. Gayman, Chief Tomalin George, Mr. Sylvester Pewee, Peabody, and the rest of the team there, just to listen to them giving some analysis about Liberia and the happenings within our country. I would just like to appreciate you. And then we will just go through a few headlines here from our end in Liberia, where you have already read some of them. So I'll just run through a few of them here. So the first one we have is this Congress for Democratic Change. So before I come there, I'd just like to inform the public because I had a lot of calls yesterday, even up to today. People were calling me, oh my, we saw on the internet you were attacked, some seditions, they arrested, all type of things. I saw people were calling me, asking me. So let me just make this clear out to the public. On yesterday, we received some information from a reliable source. They say that a eviction process was going to be kicking off yesterday. So when we received the information, we decided to go there. We were two journalists that went through. So when we entered the compound, we interacted with some of the citizens that were there. And then while coming out, our security too, I think there were three. But the first person came to me trying to engage me on or why you guys doing with camera here? So the first question I asked him, did he ask who am I to identify myself before he asked me? So he just came straight on my phone and then grabbed my phone, trying to harass me. I said, "What's the meaning of this?" So here outside fighting. Later, we saw two other guys coming from in the fence. They were like, "Oh, they want to take my phone and carry it away." I said, "But what's the meaning of this?" So later we started like arguing one another, and then we saw some guys from the Lusatia MTM company. They came over, and then they was like asking, "What's going on here?" So when I explained to him, he was like, the guys came in our area, so we won't take that phone from there. I said, but what's the meaning of that? I'm standing across the road, and then you guys are in your compound. So why should you cross the road and then come to me saying that why I have to get my phone on, and then you want to take my phone from me? So had serious argument yesterday. People were watching the live until when he started to jack my phone. They left me live, and then I received a call today from the human rights group from America. They were asking me what exactly went on. And then I explained to them. They said they are doing some investigation back the scene. But today, when I went at the party headquarters, they did apologize to me for what went wrong yesterday. They said that they thought it was just some of the journalists that were planned to come and do ordinary recording or something like to mock at them. That's why they resisted. So they apologized to me, and I accepted the apologies and then let everything go because we all are Liberians. I don't want to take things like personal before people say, "Oh yeah, he going against CDC or whatever." No, that's not what I mean, and I will not go that route because I'm now a CDC. I'm now a UPS. I'm just an independent journalist. So I just want to clear it to the public. So, Mr. Gayman, today we're at the CDC party headquarters where we saw the chairman Anthony Janga Ko. He was there today, and we had a lot of journalists from all over. They were there, and today we heard a lot of things from him. So I just like to go through a
Ahmed,
few like
Ahmed, can you hold on? Ahmed, can you mute? There you go. Thank you.
yeah. So starting from last night where I heard about the Secretary General of the party, that's Jefferson Koji. He was on Freedom Radio last night, where he made some strong statement against the former member, that's Sir Joseph, that he classified Sir Joseph as a, like, I don't want to use this word on the radio because it's not for our radio listeners or it's not for our audience. So I don't want to use this word, but I'll just use the common word for this, baseless. That's a word I'll just use for Onokoji, who is a former mayor of Monrovia, to Sir Joseph. And then when this incident happened, I think let me see where I can try to play some of the cue while we are talking. Yeah, so when he made a statement on yesterday, when after the chairman came out and made a statement that the resignation of Sir Joseph is a big blow to the CDC, where he appreciated Sir Joseph and said that the resignation of Sir Joseph is a big blow to the CDC. Jefferson Koji came up last night. He made a specific reason why the chairman came up with that statement that some of the partisans who have left the party, where he gave some references to the former chairman, that's Mwabake Molu. He left the party without any noise within the party, without giving the party or feedback, like bad feedback. That's how I classify it to be. Like, he left the party, everyone were happy, and then on Sir Joseph leaving the party to give him that type of statement that his leaving is a big blow to the party, is something that he condemned, and he said that it's not that type of way. So let me see why. Okay, I have the video here. Let me see why I can play it for our audience so that they can be able to listen to him on yesterday. Okay, so okay, yeah, we have it. So let me see whether we can cue this video here. So when he made this statement, even today, Anthony Jangako was there when he had this press conference. Let me see. Okay, here's it.
The CDC is a political movement, and so these activities are not only unique to the CDC, and the CDC have experienced, far more challenging moment than what has currently engulfed the party.
Okay.
Well, there are individuals who are in the party. Once they go contrary to the philosophy and the norm of our party, those individuals will be subjected to punitive action. So as such, Representative Clemens Fowler was one of those persons who were subjected to punitive action, and that actions were being disastrously taken. Unfortunately, the CDC is an institution. The CDC remains the creator, and those elements become the creature. So the CDC creates and produces political creature. So there are some who we go against and we keep punitive action, and there are some who we can say to you without super. What the legislature Joseph knows, element who one of those elements who was polluted, so and those that kind of a polluted element leaves the CDC. The CDC has been extremely disastrous about that. Sir Joseph, he's not the first person. There are other people who can wouldn't like you see Chairman Molu, who saw it, who worked, who had a portfolio in the party. He left the party at his own volition. So those people can be respected. But unlike other people who are traitors, who decided to betray the existence.
Are you referring to Sir Joseph as a traitor? Is that what you're saying, Honorable SG?
No better word to describe the act. I think it is upon the sons and daughters of the young men and women for students today to clap unto himself a naked arrogance and to think to reward this institution. Not this institution with betrayal. We can say to you that Sir Joseph is not doing. We're not surprised. We have dealt with a lot of elements who have betrayed this party, and the party dealt with them. Sir is one of those polluted elements who is now belong in the past of this institution, and he shall be rewarded accordingly. The Liberian people is aware.
Are you not bothered?
When the CDC encounter you, we know you. When the CDC encounter you, the changes and the transformation that transform you is not done in secret. The Liberian people may be bold, but they're not stupid people. They're not exactly. So if you come here and decide to falsify your role and try to falsify your history, the Liberian people will reward you diligently. And that's why we can say to you, the CDC is not surprised. The CDC will deal with those people who will leave the party honorably. Those who will leave the party honorably, they will be respected. Honorably, they will be reflecting. They will be reflected in the picture and annals of our history. those who will reward this party with a sense of betrayal. The CDC has no sympathy for these creatures.
Okay, so Mr. Gayman, that's just a short clip of what I was talking about. So last night we had a lot of debates on the same issue, and even before this press conference held today, he announced it last night that if this entire process is not passed through the rightful legal process or processes, they will resist if the Unity Party government wants the CDC party to be dead, or they want to erase the name of CDC. They will resist because they have lived within their party headquarters for two decades. That's 20 years. And then coming at this time to say that they should be able to leave from the party headquarters, that's something that they cannot be able to just believe it just like that. So according to the chairman of the party, Janga Ko, where he made a statement that he been in Ghana to the owner of this property, where he went to make arrangement with him in 2024, where this same invasion process came about, and then unfortunately they were not successful, and then coming back in 2025 again with this same invasion process. He see it to be like a political tactic that they will resist if there's any feedback from the Unity Party towards them. And he even made a statement that they are going back to the court. There was a mistake, or there was an error within the ruling, where he made mention about I think police officer or armed men, something like that. So they are going back to the court, and then after they resolve that issue, they will be able to reach out to the property owner again to plead that they want to buy the property. So they are still in process of this same evasion process. So we yet to see what's the outcome of it from now to the next week, hopefully, to see what's the outcome of this entire process. But the court put out this statement on yesterday with immediate effect. So we were expecting this entire process to start on yesterday, but we have not seen anything from the court yet, or any sheriff to appear at the Congress for Democratic Change party headquarters to carry any release there. But we hope to see. I think we have our guest in the studio here. So, Mr. Gayman, that's it. We can just you can just conclude that, then we can bring our guest if you want.
Great. What I gather from the interview is, if I were writing the headlines in Liberia, it would be the creator versus the creature. He said the creator cannot be afraid of the creature. The creator is the CDC, and the creature is Sir Joseph. I thought that was great. He also mentioned that if the Unity Party wants to weaponize the judiciary, they are willing to fight, and he gave several instances where Joseph Boakai wants to be a king. He wants to be an oligarch, where he weaponized the courts. He said Joseph Boakai disrespected the Supreme Court ruling. He goes beyond the call of the Constitution, and he talks about these things. So what I gathered from there was the creator, CDC, versus the creature, Sir Joseph. And the creator cannot be afraid of the creature. Let me welcome Ahmed before we bring our guest in real quick. Your 1 minute take on the headlines.
Well, I think the party have extensively dealt with these issues. An official press conference representing the view of the National Executive Committee was issued today, thereby superseding all other views that might have been expressed by individuals here and there. But there isn't anything called CDC versus Sir Joseph. Sir Joseph, as a Liberian citizen, is free to move and associate with whatever institution he wants to. I think most of the guys might have expressed disappointment in his utterance because, of course, in the process, they believe he indicted them, he lied on them, and so they were responding to it because he might have made some blanket allegations that they thought does not represent a fact. And individually, like Magay would do, and so his coach is doing, they respond to that. But all in all, in this number game, there must always be some people, some level head. So there will be time. Look, we have seen this thing before. We have seen the Costa cause, the Yeke Koloba cause. Then eventually, by the time you get to elections, you see this process of reconciliation. This. So there must be some people who will be calm, collected, and cool. Who, when that time comes, they will be the ones who will mend the breaches together. But that is behind us now. What is important to the citizen now is the issue of this headquarters. I'm sure many Liberians, including yourself, will wonder why is it then CDC will still want to seek legal reaction. And just for clarity, CDC will not resist being removed from the party headquarters if the law finally will do that. CDC will apply no other means except by and through the law. There will be no resistance of force. There will be no resistance contrary to the law. We will use the law. And why that is important? That is important because you see, when you use the word eviction, its legal definition connotates two things: either a violation of lease or a refusal to pay rent. That's what eviction will connotate from a legal point of view. And so, to leave that on your record and leave, it does not augur well for the party, considering that the party have not been in violation of any lease. The party have now owed this landlord a dime. If you calculate 20,000 a year for the last 20 years in that place, we have paid close to $1 million since in lease and rent to him. And so when you bring the thing about eviction, of course we are a responsible party. And so we want to know on what ground do we have to be evicted. Now there's one thing to say, oh, there's my property, I don't want to rent to you anymore. That's fine. Then if that's the case, if somebody is in your house and you want them to leave, then what you do, you give them time, maybe 1, 2, 3 months to prepare them to leave. That's what happens. Also of that, when you come, you say eviction, it means there's some violation. And citizens say, no, we are not violating anything. So that's the reason, that's the essence behind us going back to the court. And in the meantime, we have had alternatives. Generally, our partisans believe there is some emotional attachment, a lot of emotional attachment history to that compound. So they want us to keep the place. However, because we have not bought the place, we have made other alternatives. There is a spot currently in the Congo Town area being prepared just in case our appeal to the Supreme Court that says we have committed no violation, we have committed no wrong, and so eviction is not a right word. If the landlord wants his property, let him give us time so we can leave. But eviction, we think that's not the right approach. That's what we're saying. And anyway, even an ordinary person, you rent somewhere, you pay your rent every day on month. If the landlord wants you to leave, he comes and tells you to leave. He gives you time to leave and find a place. But if you come to eviction, it means that either you might have violated your term of being there, you destroy his property, or you're not paying his rent. None of those instances apply to the CDC. That's why we're seeking legal action. But look, we do not, personally, I do not justify that CDC is in that situation. In all fairness, we should have had that headquarters thing locked and loaded a long time. Many situations happen, but to suggest that we haven't made numerous efforts, that's not true. I, along with the former chairman, were almost involved in a plane crash, traveling to Ghana to see the landlord with whom I have a very good relationship. I built with him over time, along with other people in the party, went back and forth to Ghana. We almost had a plane crash on one of those trips, agreeing to sell the thing. So we had come down to 1.3 million. We agreed. There was a willingness to pay. Unfortunately, the legal advisor to the president at the time, Achi Bernard, who many people, in fact, when we first acquired that property, it was through him. So for a very long time, we had thought that that property was for Achi. Of course, that's where he lived, that's where they grew up and everything. So, of course, in 2016, the court ruled in favor of Dempster, but Achie claimed that he challenged the ruling because he had a property. So CDC was caught in between two. We wanted to deal with Dempster, and we also wanted to deal with Achie, but then we got advice from our legal team. Look, do not play into this. Allow the court process to play out. Whoever comes out victorious, you deal with that person and go. Because if you start to deal with Dempster, assuming Achie become the victor, he might think you are against him. If you deal with Achie, so we're caught in between the two sides, hoping that there can be a reconciliation. Eventually, when it became clear that the property was for Dempster, we went back to this. Dempster, let's conclude the deal of the 1.3. It was when Dempster announced to us that the price of the property have gone up to 4.5 million. That's about 300% increase. And we thought that was being exploitive, you know. We thought that was not right. And we thought that Dempster needed to take into consideration that we had developed his property, showing good faith as good tenant. And we thought in that spirit, he should be considerate. You know, with 4.5, we thought that was too much. So yes, while it is true, oftentimes people say CDC spent 6 years in power and he didn't get the headquarters. But CDC is one of the only parties so far, perhaps, besides the MPP and maybe the Chewy party that get the EJ bidding. CDC has been the only party that have maintained a party headquarters for over 20 years. That's not a small thing. That's not a small thing. So, you know, you cannot question leadership failure. You cannot question inability to pay. As a matter of fact, we have invested, we have added value to that property. But unfortunately, that is why, and let me close on this. That is why when we look at the landlord being so adamant with regard to the price and difficult to deal with, it becomes easier for us to assume that he's being influenced, manipulated. Because here's a tenant who have developed your property, added buildings to it, secured a put lighting. As a result of CDC presence in that community, businesses have boomed. Other areas have increased. You know, so we have added value to that property, even in that location. And so to treat us that way, except that there is some other manipulation which cannot be far from politics, I just don't see why. But it was never a part of leadership failure that is making CDC to potentially leave the headquarters. So that's
you. Let me bring in our guest. Bring in Mr. Zioga Wilson. Welcome, Johnny and Samson and Victor Nagbe. Hey, Honorable Zioga Wilson.
Oh, I'm a woman, Zoga.
Zoga, I'm still waiting for my diary.
How you doing, guys? How you doing?
I'm still waiting for my diary.
And Fofana is a host. I'm not muted. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
And Fofana, Sidiki is a host on this show. Why you kept being backstage the line to be talking all plenty to all day long, man? Time is of essence.
The man said he want to make a grand salt before you come in.
Yeah, but Zoga, I'm talking on behalf of all order. So the question is so answer, but the headquarters answer all that one. So they can go straight into the issue.
Let me answer the first question. Zoga, where my diary? Where my diary?
We thought I went caucus.
Oh. Well, Honorable Wilson, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
With me today are Victor Nagbe. Victor Nagbe, your guests.
Hey, Mr. Minister and my dear brother, welcome back. It's good to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
We have with us Samson Masare, our new adventure. He's from Care Radio. Masare, how you doing, sir? You got a guest. We can't hear you. Okay.
I think Samson is not hearing you.
Okay, while Samson is working on, let me welcome Johnny. Johnny,
hello.
Yes.
Am I in?
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
Okay. Mr. Tweed, Zioga Wilson, welcome to the closing argument, and we are live on Care Radio also. I've been a big fan of you when you were serving as minister, for youth and sport, and I've been following your work while on the field journalism. But it's good to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let me go to my brother from Lofa, the incoming senator from Lofa County, Johnny. Johnny, your guest.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gilbert, and welcome, Brother Zoga Wilson. I think we have some.
Oh Lord, he's frozen. Let me go to Hard FM, or let me go to True FM.
Don't share with anything in the
96.1.
past, but Fofo and
True FM.
Where's
Myean,
Zoga?
your guest.
Where's Zoga?
Yeah, I think Chief Tomalin just entered. I think he's the one who wants to take in charge. Let me see. Okay, so let me bring the guest back on to see.
Where's Zoga speaking from Liberia?
No, I mean it's this.
Oh, okay.
Man,
Yeah, so I just want to welcome you on a Wilson for the second time on the closing argument, where you were here a few months ago, if I'm not mistaken. And we did a lot of stories on you when you appear on the closing argument. And tonight we're hoping to get a lot of voice from you and to make news about our country and some discussions you are going to put out today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Always say, you hear what the man say? He here to pick you up, so be careful when you say he want to rest story tomorrow.
I should welcome the guest too.
The man said he would like you. You shouldn't welcome him. But go ahead, welcome him.
The minister is my ally. He's a big brother. He's an ally. He's a policy, at least up to this point, even though I heard you say you will be leaving public service life now. But I mean, he's one of our best. It's always good to have him on the show. You know, he's a knowledgeable man. So we look forward to engaging him. And hopefully I will get to ask the last question as I did the last interview.
Thank you so much.
Let me work on the chief himself. The Chief Tomalin George. The Bassa People's King, King George won. Welcome.
Back in the closing argument. And for disclaimer, we have invited the former president to watch this show. We invited the vice president who is in Ghana with the national security advisor, attending the Ghanaian defense, the funeral of the people that crashed in the plane. They're all watching this show tonight. We invited them. Everybody we invited them. I made a mistake, you know. Every day I used to give the link to my papa, Ambassador Grisby. I started to him, I forgot that the papa is not alive, you know. But every day, since he caught me for attacking him, when I told him to sanction him, so they called me. He said, "Oh, he said, "Man, sanction me." I said, "Papa, I didn't say so." He said, "You laugh." I watched the show. He said, "Man, sanction me." He said, "You think I'm able to get order to NASCAR for I get out? You think I'm able to get that kind of order?" He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go talk it up." I said, "Oh, Papa, I'm missing though." Because I used to send a link all the time, and we should communicate all the time. You're the person in the UP government that I respect a lot, because we're not into all the petty things, you know. The one time he and I were talking, at on Spoon, they're attacking. So I was going to fight Papa. Papa said, look at that ball. He said, Bugger need me more than I need Bugger. You know that one? Bugger will fire me. As I decided to stay, I won't go. But you can talk all day. Bugger would now tell me, say, I won't boo you. So then he was at time. He said, my son, I've been ambassador all over Europe. I said, what 3-4 presidents? I don't worry about nothing. But we're missing though. And today they signed a book of condolence. I was really missing, because we used to communicate. I'm telling you, we were cool. Video talk to, we were very cool. But again, that's life. We miss him a lot. But it's a pleasure to have the former Minister of Youth and Sport and former national president of the United Bassa Association in the Americas, all the Bassa speaking tribes, Nyenwolo, former national president, former Mighty Barrow. Look, I mean, before I start, when we had a Barrow and stuff going on, right? And they had this stuff going on. They were eating the money. They eat the money.
Somebody has a dog.
The guy
is a neighbor dog out Yaman control.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I apologize.
He said, "Oh, stop!" And he stopped it. And for over 2 years, he single-handedly adopted that Barrow stuff, and Barrow was stopped. But since he got in the parliament and everything went down, but it doesn't mean that we're not getting hard on tonight. I'm going to get hard on tonight. We're asking the relationship between he and the former president. When last he spoke, everything and the CDC, the president position with the CDC. We're asking everything tonight.
Yeah, but Tomalin, why you gotta warn the man, the president watching, the vice president watching?
No, I won't tell the man.
You try to intimidate the man.
No, let the man know. We invite all the people to watch the show. So let them make progress, people.
Let's go. Wilson, don't mind this, man. You are a tough boxer, man. Nobody can move you. The boxer people say, where can water carry a rock? It can't carry you nowhere. They carry you somewhere and leave you there. But tell us, welcome to the show and your opening remark.
Well, I want to appreciate you guys on the closing argument. And I hope we have a fruitful discussion today. I look forward to your questions. And I hope you accept my answers that I will give. You got to ask me, I got to answer. And whatever answer I give you, live with that. I look forward to a good show.
Well, for disclaimer, Mr. Wilson is a brother-in-law of mine. So usually when he's on here, I either leave when the platform gets full, I leave because I'm conflicted. So the gentleman is here. Let's go to KFM, Care Radio. We want to welcome our folks from Care Radio. We want to welcome our folks from 96.1 Truth FM and Hot FM. Wherever you are, we have a great guest. It's going to be a great show. We will take your comments in the section. Tell us where you're tuning in from so we can send a shout out. If you're from Martin Barrow, let us know. You red, white, and blue out here so we can send a shout out to you. But we have a great guest here. We expect the show to be great. Mr. Nagbe, our guest. I guess you get a crack at it.
Yeah, it's good to have you again, my brother. I mean, I know you didn't write a new book or you didn't make a new movie or, you're not here to promote anything. So I am assuming you're here to tell us what you're doing with the CDC. In fact, there are speculations that you're about to announce a new party. So it's good to have you here. So why don't you tell us and tell our audience why you're here today? It's good to have you.
Well, I'm here because I was invited by the closing argument.
Okay. It's real, right? I mean.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, it is always good to be in your company, seriously. But I mean, I know the last time you were here, you stayed away from politics. You wanted to talk sports and your support for Raji and all of that. But you care to give your little perspective right now on what is happening in the CDC. I know you're a sedition. You guys are being evicted. You have members dropping like flies from the party. You have other members calling other members parasite. You care to give us a little perspective, your insight on what is happening?
Well, I tell you, I've not been following a lot of stuff a lot. And so I know I heard and read a little story about Senator Sir Joseph. He left the party and he's either organizing a new party or he organized a new party. And I also heard that he said a lot of things, amongst which was that he spent 80 million, but I stand to be correct on that, on the renovation of the Youth Agriculture Training Center in Bensenville that is under the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And when I got that information, I laughed. I was wondering which currency the senator, if he made a statement, was referencing. Is it US dollar or the Liberian dollar? But no matter what currency he was referencing, I can tell you emphatically that the senator, if he made that statement, I thought he was in the wrong. He was all exaggerating whatever he did. He did not spend that amount on the Youth Agriculture Training Center. I was the Minister of Youth and Sports. Did he help to do some work at the center? Absolutely. I don't believe whatever he did there was more than 10,000 United States dollars. I don't think it even reached that amount, but he did some work in coordination with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I can say that, but to spend 80 million, nah, that's not true. It's far from the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about that project. I was refreshing my, memories on what you've done, and I think it's one of the things you were recognized for the youth empowerment project. So we'll talk about it a little bit more. But let's tiptoe a little bit if we can in the political minefield, because we're all politicians, by nature. Yeah, I listened to the interview by the senator, and yes, you're right. I think he's on the way to announcing a new party. And then, of course, there has been the myriad of reactions. But the chairman seems to be on a different side of the reactions we're getting. Chairman Cole came out and acknowledged the loss and expressed the hope that the senator will have a rethinking of his position and, hopefully come back into the fold. But then other partisans, like the former Secretary General, whose clip we just played here, they have restlessly, launched these blistering attacks on him, minimizing him basically, and, declaring him more or less a nobody. And I'm not asking you to take any sides on this, but let's assume you were the chairman of the CDC for the sake of our discussion here. How would you have reacted to this departure?
Well, the thing is that reaction should be measured. I know this probably took a lot of people by surprise, but one thing I see that is actually a consistent pattern within the ranks of CDC is that they always want to vilify people. That is the wrong approach. Everybody join institute based on their own volition, based on their own. And if for some reason a member of your institution that has been a valuable member for years decides to leave the party, no matter what he says out there, I think as leaders, we must be measured in how we approach the situation. Because sycophancy is also paramount in CDC. Our servants, they know there are times, not everything Sir Joseph may have said represent truth. I just debunk one of them right now. But it doesn't mean that every issue he has are not true. When some people who are criticizing today know that they have their own experiences at different levels. That's why I'm saying we should be measured. I'll give you an example. When I came on this show, and Seleke asked me the question he asked me to all the energy, I responded. Guess what? In the chat room, they came down on me. Some people calling me name. In fact, Councillor Safwa May Gray gave instruction to my former colleague Piso and my little friend and brother Eric to remove me from the chat room because of what I said on your show. That is the problem. The party cannot be in a position where people must always be praise singers. There must be difference of opinion. We must respect the views of other people, whether we like it or not. Let's respect the views of other people. And they keep vilifying people because they have an issue and they leave in the party. That man, Sir Joseph, are you following?
He does.
He does. So other people say, oh, well, we all the men living today, they got nothing good to say. He's a nobody. We can't do that in a political arena. Politics is about numbers.
That's right.
And I want to warn the CDC today that you start vilifying people.
Don't make
Stop
the
being perpetual praise singers.
Don't make that
But all the child room, he who don't fear no fall. I'm just speaking truth to power. We should start vilifying people. Accept divergence of views. That's what democracy is. We all can agree on everything. But listen to people. When people state their reason why they leave in something, don't just beat down on them. Try to understand by engaging. You know, you can never tell. Maybe if they engage the man in a way that he's supposed to, he will probably come back. But to just start vilifying people, attacking them, the moment you say something different from the view they hold, they're going after you. Come on now. That's not democratic.
Thank you, my brother. I know my brothers here are dying to come in, but I agree. I absolutely agree with you. Every mature person should be measured. I'm giving it back to you, Jerome. But let me welcome some of our guests. Let me welcome, because Jane here said I should leave the chief alone in our regular Jim McBorough.
Honorable Zioga Wilson, have you left the CDC party?
Well, let me correct you. I was never a sedition. I'm a Wiashin. Let's be clear on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me welcome the rest of the guys. Johnny, be good. It's your turn to engage our guest.
Thank you, my brother Zoga Wilson, and you know, everyone that ever plays soccer and move forward in terms of education and other achievement, I always give them credit, because the Liberia society has a tendency where whoever plays soccer is seen as somebody who is not serious or
but
some
then
kind of low class.
Why you now give President we are credit? I mean, play soccer.
Yeah, but I give him credit for the level of program he made in life. You understand? But Zoga, specifically Zoga, I know Zoga, I'm sure he remember me, but I want to appreciate him for what he has done for himself and what he has done for the brain people. But I'm not interested in asking Zoga about the CDC situation. I'm interested in asking Zoga about Liberia. Because Zoga served as the Minister of Youth and Sports for 6 years in that regime. The same thing I do to the Minister of Education, the same question I want to ask. Zoga, well, what was your baseline when you took over the Ministry of Youth and Sports? What did you meet on the ground? What did you inherit? And then what did you do in the process, and what did you achieve before your departure?
Well, thank you so much for the question. I highly appreciate the question. So the first thing, when I took over Minister of Youth and Sports, I did not receive a turnover note, number one.
Okay, noted.
However, I worked at that ministry for 5 years as assistant minister, so I understood and know the ministry very well. And I still have people at the ministry that I worked with before. And my team and I decided to at least engage everybody. But to answer your question bluntly, there were two development partner funded programs that we met at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. One was financially supported by the World Bank. It's a Youth Opportunity Project, YOP. Our project started in 2016. When we took over the ministry, the project was at 23% in implementation. And we also inherited, we met there, the YEEP program, the Youth Entrepreneurship Empowerment Program. That was a program that was being financially sponsored by the African Development Bank. Those two projects were the project we inherited from the government, the Unity Party government then. Domestic project. The only project we inherited there was the beaches and waterway. Nothing else. However, we were able to complete both the youth opportunity project that benefited over 10,000 Liberian youth in all 15 counties, as well as the African Development Bank funded program for 2.4 million. That program will be instituted in 3 institutions: the University of Liberia for Job Readiness, the Booker Washington Institute for capacity building, and then prior it was today the Nima County University, but then it was then the Nima County Community College. They were engaged in entrepreneurship development. And at the end of that project, we built an entrepreneurship lab at the Nima County Community College, now Nima County University. And entrepreneurship was being taught as a 1-credit course there. And that program ended successfully. And before leaving, we wrote the African Development Bank, given that the entrepreneurship component was very successful. And the fact that when I engage young people, I realized that a vast majority of young people wanted government jobs. And as I engaged them, I always told them in any democracy or economy, government is not the largest employer, it's the private sector. Government cannot employ everybody. So I begin to propagate and push the idea of entrepreneurship to make sure the African Development Bank can replicate the entrepreneurship program to other counties with a new project. And we're working on that project. We got positive response from the African Development Bank. They sent delegates to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We sat down, we had discussions on that because we wanted to introduce entrepreneurship at our vocational schools as well. Because we thought that if the young people graduate from vocational technical education, they must be able to form their own cooperative, their own businesses. And we thought entrepreneurship will help in that light. And that is why we're engaging with the African Development Bank. And it is my understanding that I believe that program was approved, but whether it's being implemented, I don't know. So when the YOP ended, but prior to YOP ending, President, we have visited France in 2018 when he took over. And at the time, people thought he went to visit his friend Macron. But as a result of that visit, the first 5 million came to Liberia, and a program was launched called LEAP, the Liberia the Liberia Employment Empowerment Program. That program was being implemented jointly by Mercy Corps that were implementing for the French government, because at the time the French Development Agency was not in Liberia, and Youth and Sports. And that program was a $5 million program, covered 3 counties. It covered Monserrato, Margibi, and Grand Bassa. And under that program, from the Youth and Sport perspective, we reintroduced the National Youth Program. And the 3 counties, we have the program in all 3 counties in the area of agriculture, education, and health. And then we reintroduced the Youth on the Job Training Program at MVDC as well. And our program, we successfully completed our program with over 11,850 Liberian youth benefiting in all 3 counties. As a result of ending the YOP program, we engaged the World Bank. And then the World Bank saw our good work because we successfully ended the YOP program that we met at 23%, and we completed it in 2021, 100%. A new program called Realize was born and inaugurated. So Brian Realize is a recovery of economic activities for Liberia informal sector employment, acronym Realize. That program was to benefit at the time initially 53,500 youth in Greater Monrovia. And prior to us leaving office, we were able to mobilize additional 40 million from the Swedish government, the French government, the World Bank. There were 3 institutions that were involved with Realize, the Ministry of Gender, where 16 million was being used for the social safety net cash transfer in the Southeast. We had LIS being a partner in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, being the lead implementing agency. And prior to all leaving, the program extended beyond Monrovia to 14 of the 15 counties. Then we also brought in the IECD. It's a French international NGO. The same vice president we have made, we brought 10 million in from the French government. Now let me be clear. All the big money are calling people in Liberian way. The funds were not coming directly to the Ministry of Youth and Sports or the other government entities involved. There were implementing agencies. For instance, the EU. The EU project was being implemented by UNIDO. The French program was being implemented by IECD. That's how it works. And then initially it was Mercy Corps. So all the funds I'm calling and naming, the other funds that came directly to the Ministry of Youth and Sport. They went to the agency. So we also brought in the IECD. They brought in 10 million. They are engaging hospitality services as well in some in TVET as well. And I tell you, Prof. Sony and I were able to work with our EU partners. 6 counties. When we took over, we worked to sign a contract because it was hanking from the previous government for TVET in 6 of our 15 counties. We finally crossed the hurdle that was holding that project down from the previous government, and Minister Samuel Twe, the chief authorizing officer, signed that contract with the EU, was worth over $20 million for TVET in all of the 6 of the 15 counties. And before we left office, TVET had been revamped in all those 6 counties. There were new TVET buildings constructed. There were TVET buildings that were being renovated. All of them with state-of-the-art equipment. And each of the TVET centers had a production unit to be competitive in the market. For instance, for the NVDC that was run under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we have a production unit at NVDC in Woolworth. I don't know why it's being done now, but NVDC students should be able to compete with any trade shop in Woolworth in Liberia and produce the best of furniture you can think of, because we have state-of-the-art equipment at NVDC. The same is true with Totmaha under the Ministry of Education. There are 2 sectors of TVET. One is the informal sector, which is the largest sector under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the formal sector under the Ministry of Education. And prior to us leaving, we were also able to have the Minister of Finance. We negotiated again with the EU. We got 28 million from them to cover the rest of the 9 counties. Prior to us leaving office, we even visited all the counties, the rest of the 9 counties, and identified a high school that a TVET center would have been constructed adjacent to. For instance, in Bomi, C.S. Dewey High School was the high school we identified for the vocational school to be annexed to it. In Ganta Nima County, we had 2. We identified the JWPSC in Ganta. In Sanikole would have had the largest TVET institution in Liberia, bigger than NVDC, the Sanikole Vocational Technical Center. So we mapped out, the money was there, it approved everything, but we could not implement it because we had left government. So these are some of the projects we met and we completed, and project we led. In fact, right now, if you visit the Ministry of Youth and Sports, there is a construction going on outside the fence. That is a hospitality center that we signed our agreement and started our project for the BDOTC, the Business, Domestic, and Educational Occupational Training Center of the Ministry of Youth and Sport. That center, that place being constructed at SKD is for our practical purposes. It's a mini hotel. We have 4 rooms for the students to do their practicum and for them to generate fund. We signed our contract. We started our project. We left it on. And prior to leaving as well, we left $5 million in the system, the one US system for the Ministry of Youth and Sports. $3 million for outreach youth and $2 million for other youth programs. I will rest here so far and get more questions. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Let me go to our station in Monrovia there. Let's go to 96.1 FM, Truth FM, Myean.
Yeah, so Mr. Gayman, how many questions am I allowed to ask?
One.
Okay, one. Okay, so that's a former Youth and Sport Minister, Mr. D. Zoga Wilson. So looking back, what you say to Liberian people in terms of your biggest achievement during your tenure as former Youth and Sport Minister?
Well, I think being able to work with my colleague, Professor D. Anson Soni, for us to have been able to mobilize resources through the EU, the European Union, to empower young people, like I just said. Today, through our efforts and thanks to the leadership of the president as well, President Weah, the Finance Minister Twe, that today all 15 counties in our country should have state-of-the-art TVET institution. That is a huge investment because you know what? TVET is the way for young people, especially for Liberia that went through nearly 14 years of civil war. Many of the children, the young people have all grown their ages to be in regular school. So TVET is the way for them to go. And being able to govern our resources for us to now be boasting of having TVET institutions in all 15 counties, that is a significant milestone. And I also believe too, having a renovation at the SKD Sports Complex after we're banned to come back where today Liberia is being used as a host, then going outside to play a game is a great milestone. Being able to work with the statutory youth organization in Liberia for 6 years, FLY, LINSU, the Manarara Union Youth Parliament Liberia chapter, that there was not one incident of property destruction or mass protests against the government, something that was common in previous government, is a huge, huge milestone. Being able to have Liberia represented at the Olympics in Tokyo for the first time, that Liberia went to the finals in the 200 meter, and also at the All-World Game in Eugene, Oregon, for Liberia to have gone there for the first time and went to the final again in the 200 meter, Joseph Famule. I mean, those were huge, 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 huge milestones we can't forget. Also, our Special Olympics, our people who have disability, that people don't know about. When they see people, they say, oh, the man is crazy. We took a team to United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi in 2019. 5 athletes, we took 5 athletes, 4 athletes, we won 5 gold medals, and it's a huge milestone because the Special Olympics get over 300 countries. United States always carry almost the higher delegation for Liberia to participate, and we won gold medal with the Special Olympics. It's also huge, just to name a few.
Thank you. Let me go to Kia FM. Our audience through Kia FM, Samson Masare. Your question to the minister.
All right, Honorable Seleke Wilson, welcome again. So I have one question. President Weah, during his 6-year administration, carry on a couple of projects and left some in the Puebla, which we all know. But then, when the United Party came to power, they started to complete some of these projects, and we see the CDC claiming them. Why the CDC did not carry on a lot of publicity in displaying this project, and why the CDC also did not show to the public when President Weah was turning over his 10-hour note immediately after President Weah turned over, so the public can know some of the projects he erected and some of the projects he left in the Puebla.
Well, look, I think people have selective amnesia when it comes to publicity. Because one thing I do know is that all of the projects undertaken by the Weah government were well publicized at every government entity. We were publicizing what we were doing. People knew what we were doing. But you know, in Liberia, we see everything through the political lens. If you visit each ministry, because each of us who left government, we did a turnover note. And if you went through the turnover note, even the transitional team that met every ministry or minister and his team or her team, they were briefed on every project. I give you an example. In my turnover note, I told Dr. Kimi Weeks and his team, and I even briefed Minister Kehleboe Gongloe that look, there are 2 pressing issues you need to look into. The football fee, we didn't complete everything we needed to complete. We need to get a docker seat. We need to get the floor lights. We documented that for the floor light by our administration. Okay? Now, what did Minister Kehleboe Gongloe do? He took our briefing, he ran with it. Today, he got a docker seat, that is the substitute benches for the players. I'm told the floor light, the company will sign a contract with the Green Sea Tough company for Holland. They have delivered the container team. They have delivered the floor light. We even left 120 at Breakthrough because President Weah government initiated our WU program. We briefed the transitional team and I briefed Minister Kehleboe Gongloe that look, the transitional team, we have 120 young people that went through detoxification, they went through vocational training, they went through rehabilitation, and they are ready for graduation. What did the Ministry of Youth and Sport do? They graduated 120 children. Now the thing is, I was in Liberia. Minister Gongloe did not invite me to enter the program, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, but at least we briefed them. He came there, he took no program because government is continuity. I told you, when I took over, there were 2 programs from development partners that I met there. We completed them, we take the credit. If they do theirs, they will take the credit because government continuity. But for somebody to say we did not publicize them, that cannot be true. Because all of our projects were publicized sufficiently. And in all of our turnover notes, we have them there.
Thank you. Let me welcome Honorable Dr. Peabody, our the moral captain of this ship. If you need counseling, you need to talk to somebody in the higher ups. Yeah, if you want to do a little confession, you get. I can't confess to Tomalin George. I can't confess to me. I will go confess to my preacher and say, "Pray for me, man. I did something." So, Doctor, welcome, and your guest. Any question?
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. Good to see everybody on the show. Everybody, good to see you guys. Happy Thursday. Hoping for Friday to come so I can take a break, but it's good. Minister Wilson, it's good to see you. Welcome again to the Closing Acumen. You know, string you're here. You've been coming, even when you're a minister. You came. My question to you, Minister Wilson, the Ministry of Youth and Sports. What is the relationship between Ministry of Youth and Sports and LFA? Because people get this confused a lot. Who is actually responsible when it comes to football in Liberia as compared to the Ministry of Youth and Sports?
I think you're getting a call in. He's frozen.
Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you're back.
Did you
Hello?
get him?
Did you get my question? Minister Wilson, did you get my question? I think the minister frozen again.
Yeah. Tell me, George, you said the NSA people are watching. You want to call and find out what's going on?
Minister Wilson, are you back?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he got logged off and log off and come back.
Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear us now, Minister?
Yeah, look at he signed in twice.
Yeah, that's what happened. I can see he's sitting outside on the porch.
Yeah, he's outside, but while we try to get him in.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Can you hear?
I have problem with my earpiece.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. But let me ask you, Minister.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Well, I will just talk like that because my earpiece is not connecting, but no problem.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Can you guys let me connect my earpiece and call back, please?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing you clearly. Let me connect my earpiece and call back.
Okay. Thank you. Gentlemen, that is a great question from Dr. Peabody. Even me, that is a regular fan of sports in Liberia. I can't tell the difference between the LFA and the Ministry of Youth and Sport. I don't know who sponsors whom and who is in charge of soccer. That's a great question. You can, Honorable George, you're very close to soccer. Educate us a little bit before he can. What's the difference? Who's what in the sports arena?
I know the Ministry of Youth and Sports, through the Liberian government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they are responsible for the national team. They appoint the coach. They pay the coach. They take care of the players. When the players are traveling, they pay down the air tickets. They are the one. But when it comes to international deal with football, the FIFA will not deal with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They deal with the LFA directly. I think Mr. Wilson, I think you can clarify that. Yeah. So all the government needs to do provide the funding, Ministry of Youth and Sports. But when it comes to the football, the FIFA, they will not call the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They will deal with LFA. But LFA, the national team is prepared by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. That was always in trouble. They always want for the people tickets to come to play the game. They per dime. And when Loon started playing, I don't know whether he was getting sleep because they were on his back. But he would talk to himself. So he was there doing a tough time for Loon Star too, though.
Honorable Wilson, can you hear us now?
Yes, very well.
Dr. Peabody, can you go back with our great question?
Honorable Wilson, we just wanted to know the difference when it comes to LFA and the Ministry of Youth and Sport. What can you tell us the role that each of them play when it comes to football in Liberia?
Well, thank you so much. So, the LFA, you can hear me?
Yes.
The LFA, like every other sports federation, implements government policy on football. The LFA is autonomous. The LFA is not under the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The LFA is the manager of the national team. The government of Liberia owns all of the national team in Liberia. The various federations are just managers. The government is the financier of all national teams. That is the role of the LFA vis-a-vis the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Okay.
So it's policy and technical, right?
What do you mean?
The ministry is the policy arm for sports in the country, while each of the different federations become the technical arms.
Yeah, that implement government policy on a specific discipline.
Okay.
They have their own. They have their own. 1 minute now. They have their own program too. The Development Federation have their own program that they run, and it find out about like for LFA, FIFA sponsor all their program they running. Okay, besides our government policy, maybe on football, they have their own youth football program that they run, sponsored by FIFA. Yes.
All right, Mr. Wilson, what is am I allowed to ask you a question? What is the overall support you get from the ministry get from the government? What is the ministry budget for sports when it comes to Liberia?
Well, the thing is that Liberia, I would say we don't have a budget for sports. That's one of the things we're trying to work to find a way to source funding outside our government envelope. Look, I've said that when I was minister, and I keep saying it to people. If you look at the government envelope, the annual budget, I don't think about 800,000. It was stuck at 750,000. The 800,000 at time will come back. It fluctuates in that rate. Government competing priorities. And that is why I've repeatedly said, if we want to improve and develop sports, we have to look for other means of securing funds for sports development. And when our minister talked about sports development tax on alcoholic beverages and cigarettes. And I'll be honest, I did not get traction from my own government. Folks were not even willing to sit down with me for us to discuss these things. Even if the excise tax already in the country. But let's have a discussion on these things. Because we can't improve sports without government budget. So I was happy, and I called Senator Boucher Assembly to congratulate him for the legislation that he passed. We need to look at different avenues, whether it be through taxation, through concession agreement, when countries come here to develop the concession agreement in Liberia. We need to look at areas where we can try to actually find money to put into sports development. And I will tell you, when I took over our cooperation for 2 persons, Seleke Kromah, with the police director, you are NBC, and Frida Tamba. At the time, she was at LRA. We started to hold on discussion on that. In fact, Brian McGill, who is the current deputy minister, for youth development, he was my point person, engaging these 2 entities with the Ministry of Youth and Sport on my proposal. But after the both of them left, it was a little challenge. You know, we always get people that want to rationalize. But let's sit down and discuss. So I'm telling you guys today, and to the public, if we want to develop sports, I just say football, I say sports with S. Because we are the Ministry of Youth and Sports, not the Ministry of Football. That legislation for ball charts. It is my prayer and hope that if signed into law by the president, the government will put its weight behind that. Sure. And whoever has that commission must be supported by every facet of the government. Let's look for money for this entity to be able to build, to finance and develop sports in Liberia.
Before we go to the next person here, did I hear you say the budget for the ministry was $800,000?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. What was the $800,000 for?
I didn't call 800,000 though. Maybe I don't remember. I said 800,000 in my discussion.
I heard you said it fluctuated between 700, 800.
No, I said 800 million. The government, the national budget. I made a national budget. If I said 800,000, then I misspoke. I mean 800 million.
Okay, great. Okay, let me go to Ahmed.
Minister. So we are sharing as well. I will not ask you CDC questions, so let's go straight to the sports issue.
But I mean, we are saying.
Okay, yes. Let's go straight to the sports issue. So, Minister, a few days ago, the former education minister was on this station and said that 60% or about 6,000, I still to be corrected with that number, of our teachers, Republic of Liberia generally, could not pass an 8th grade test or assessment test to qualify them as teachers. Today, close to 1 million people in Liberia, as per WAS statistics, have been affected with drugs, many of whom are young people. Our illiteracy rate still remain high. Amongst those priorities, among those burning issues, where do we put sports? Should we prioritize sports? What does it bring to the country, considering that even the local teams are not even able to attract people to their games so that they can raise money to maintain those teams? So you think if government were to set its priority, where you think we should place sports in terms of taxing to put on sport or taxing to put it on youth education or fight against drugs?
Well, I would say this much. Government has competing priorities. That is why I'm not a proponent of government giving our annual envelope. I'm not a proponent of government diverting money to sports. The legislation passed by Senator, that the Senate and the House passed, introduced by Senator Charles Sibwe. I believe that is the right step in the right direction, where we can raise funds outside of government budget, because government budget will not cut it. I will not tell you, say, leave education and put money to sports. But I can tell you, if we invest in sports, we'll reap the benefit down the road. Because let me tell you something, when Liberia has facility where we can develop athletes, where international competition can come to Liberia, it affects positively our local economy. But we are not yet there. It will take us time, but at least the legislation by Senator Sibwe is a right step in the right direction. We need to embrace it. We need to establish that group and fund it. Look for funding. Let the government put a true weight behind that group. We don't have to take money from government coffers. But there are a lot of ways, I'm telling you, companies are coming to Liberia to do business. We can look in and give some percentage to that entity. Other big companies in Liberia, through that social corporate responsibility, they can put money into that. We can look at the SSI, the 25 cents, the road fund. Today, the road fund. All the money from road fund, 25 cents. I'm not saying you must have more money, but that 25 cents, give 5 cents to sport development and youth development. No, youth part, let me not say youth, because youth get a lot of money for development partner. Let it be for sport development. Take up 5 cents for the road fund. Let 20 cents go to the road fund, put 5 cents to sport development under the framework of Bocha. These are the kind of innovative ideas we are talking about.
Okay, but just a quick follow-up. Do you have any idea, an estimate, what do you think, because the education minister said to us $1 billion is an estimate that could take the Liberian education system at a different level, perhaps at an appreciated level. Do you have any estimate in terms of your analysis in the sector for a very long period? You think how much investment, and where specifically those investments should go when it comes to sports development? How much you think can take us in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years at par perhaps with other countries like Ghana, Nigeria, other places in terms of sports, and what specifically it should focus on?
Well, look, I'm not going to make a blanketed estimate here without doing some assessment. One, we need to build our sports infrastructure. It's very important at every level. We need to build sporting infrastructure. In addition to building sporting infrastructure, we need to develop the capacity of our coaches, as well as our athletes, our national team. People must be able to go out for training and all of these things that estimate people will have to do. I don't want to sit there and give you a figure, because like I said, infrastructure is key to our success. We have poor infrastructure when it comes to sports in Liberia. We have poor maintenance of our facilities. All of these need to be taken into consideration and require a comprehensive assessment to be done for the arrival of a figure. I don't want to give you blanket figure yet, unfortunately.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable George.
This one is tough, though. Mr. Wilson, this the closing argument. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I hope you can address it. So from people watching the show, that's why they're sending, right? They listened to you a few minutes ago, and they're saying that your ministry on you did not support the Olympic team, so you shouldn't take credit for that. So those guys hustle on their own. They said that they complained for lack of support until they started to win. The only thing that was done by you and the ministry was you made sure that foreign affairs helped the American athletes adjust their status to play for Liberia. No monetary support and were given to them. How can you address that?
Well, the person that texted you that lack knowledge of what he or she is telling you. Because number one, if you ask the former Olympic Committee President, Mr. Philip Brown, he will tell you that the Tokyo Olympics, as well as the All African Game, the All World Game in Eugene, Oregon, Tokyo, Japan, government of Liberia 100% financed the trip, bought a ticket for every athlete that went there, gave them for that. Now, when they talk about preparation, you see, you ask for, I will tell you, the National Olympic Committee gave athletes scholarship. That scholarship is something like, I think, $1,000 or $4,000. I said be corrected. That money is for you to get your trainer to train and what have you. That comes to the National Olympic Committee to prepare people. Though early in America, they are open to facilitate and getting support. Tomalin, George, when we were playing in Liberia, was that the government of Liberia was giving us money to go practice, to be good soccer player or good basketball players? We were doing it on our own. So for someone to say that, the players were doing their own, these are professional athletes in America. These children want to excel. They participate in every competition. They get their own sponsor. They get their own way of getting the things. We got two guys in the United States. Seleke Kromah and Coach Myean. Those guys, I knew them when they represented Liberia in Atlanta Olympic. Our assistant minister then. Ever since we forged a contract, they are the chief recruiter of our athletes. They help to prepare those athletes. And government of Liberia finance the participation in the Tokyo Olympics, in the World Games, and even till recently, I said corrected, in France as well. So for somebody to text you and say, we did nothing, that's not true. These children, yes, they prepared themselves in America yet. You know it. In Liberia, the children prepare themselves. Those that the Olympic Committee want to get a scholarship to get coach to prepare them, the Olympic Committee did that because they received funding for the International Olympic Committee for that. So the person that tested you, I'm sorry to say, but that person is novice. They don't know these things. They just want to criticize at all costs.
And my last question. Okay, Mr. Wilson, I heard you also, you listed several things, accomplishments under your ministry and by the former administration. But during the election, you didn't get this thing. And perhaps if people are things that you guys did, your minds would have changed. Because right now, for the last several weeks, Mohamed Fofana been through his instrumentality. Bishop has been coming on the platform, and when they're on the platform and then listening to the accomplishment of the CDC government, people start asking the question: where were these guys? They got the propaganda in the election. That, for instance, the UP government, the UP guy said harmonization was they made poor, but then when they took over, Mr. Tuwe came on the platform and said he challenged the government to reverse harmonization. They have not done it. Then he fought Hussein. This guy came here last year, the offenses, and broke down harmonization. And when he broke down harmonization, people said, but why are you guys going to say this during the campaign? You guys beat you on the propaganda front. And now today, again, you are here. There is a lot of stuff that was done, but people are saying, but when was Zoga doing the election? What was he doing the campaign? So I was saying he's not somebody who lack of talking. He got words. He's an eloquent guy. He's outspoken, and he would have been of phase and more vocal on the campaign trail to put his record there. But all we're missing. So people are saying Zoga they all help to cause cities to not win because they were silent. What do you say to these people?
I think they were wrong, because when it comes to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we have a program on EFBC called INSA MYS. I believe that program is still running. For the 6 year, therefore, we have a program every Friday for 30 minutes. Besides that, I visited the Mika Press briefing with our live platform. They are there. I think any of my cabinet ministers, my assistant minister, Malaya Z. Sharif, were on the radio, different network propagating our achievement in Tibet. Let me tell you, we're not defeated because of developmental initiative. That is a myth. We're defeated because of the pocketbook issue. People were catching hard, were facing hard time. That's the reality. You think people are catching hard time, struggling to find food to eat, to send their children to school? You want to tell them how many football fields you built, how many school buildings you built to listen to you? We are defeated on the pocketbook issue, the bread and butter issue. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And the United Party government thinks that they will win on development they say they're doing and don't address the pocketbook issue facing the country. We'll be on the same substitute base. So that's it, Tomalin. It was not about developmental agenda. If that was a yardstick of measurement, citizens would have won. But we lost the election on the pocketbook issue, the bread and butter issue. If people don't understand that, I'm sorry.
Excellent. Myean, I know you had two. I can shortchange you. Ask your second question.
Okay, yeah. So let me come back to this youth and sport issue before we go back to this CDC issue, because we have so many times to ask you questions. So let me come back to this Ministry of Youth and Sport issue. So, Mr. Former Minister, I would like to know how many young people that are in this fight in terms of so let me ask you. You hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, so many young people feel that the Ministry of Youth and Sport or the sports sector still needs investment. So you being a former Minister of Youth and Sport, do you believe that the ministry received enough support under the leadership of you?
No.
So you run the ministry within the budget that was given to the ministry, or you run the ministry on your own administration as a former youth and sport minister?
So let me say this much. 2 years earlier, government had competing priorities. When it comes to the youth initiative, our government received tremendous support from our development partner. I name them here. No doubt about that. When it comes to the sports side, it was a challenge because the funding was not sufficient because government competing priorities. We have a line in the budget called Other National Sports, with Dugi Fofana Ministry at Dopoh, 1.5 million in that envelope on that line. But understand, that line not just for Lone Star, for the football team, it's for all national teams. Just LFA alone, 2 games of the Lone Star will get into over half of that amount. That's why I said we cannot improve and develop sports in Liberia for the government appropriation. We need to look outside the box. And yes, we were not supported as the way we wanted, not because the government didn't want to do it. It's because government had competing priorities. And that's why we need to look elsewhere to find money for sports development in Liberia. On the youth side, we're good because we got tremendous support from our development partners.
Wow. Samson Masare, you got one more question?
All right, Minister Seleke Kromah. So currently, we are just in 2 years to the United Party government, and already the CDC seems to be losing grip when it comes to LOFA, losing 2 of their permanent sons, Honorable Fala and Honorable Sir Joseph, followed by Honorable Kanyo Bala. He's also slipping of recent. Looking at these permanent sons from the CDC, especially Honorable Fala, who fought the United Party in the LOFA campaign, do you think former President Weah can make a comeback 2029?
Well, I would encourage you to ask President Weah that question. I don't know what he plans. I don't know whether he intends to run 2029. I don't know. I can't speak to that. And I don't want to speak to hypothetical.
Thank you. Honorable, I got one question for you. Hopefully, I want to know how prevalent was the drug issue in your administration, in your ministry. I want to read this because it came from MACAT today. The deputy LTA boss at MACAT said, I say it openly from the executive, the fresh branch of government, and to the judiciary. You can go to each of these sectors, you will find somebody with drugs. He said the reason is very simple. Drug is very lucrative in this country. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. Everybody wants the drug money. Talk to us about what did you do to combat drug and how prevalent were drugs in your administration and in your ministry?
Well, I was the Minister of Youth and Sports. My term of reference was not to combat drugs. You had the LDA, you get the police, the security apparatus. What we did was that the young people who were taking drugs, we needed to rehabilitate them. And that's why we launched the Outrage You Rehabilitation Program under the Garguah government. That program was 100% supported by our development partners. The one EUN system. We launched that program. I told you, we rehabilitated 120 of them just at the end of our term. And we turned it over to the new government to rehabilitate. We didn't stop there. I signed a contract in October of 2023 with the one UN system to the Peace Building Fund for $3 million for the CRU program. You know? No, I think October 2024, I believe. No, I'm sorry. 2023. Yeah. I signed our agreement. All the government needed to do to match that $3 million to continue the program. Why that didn't happen, I don't know. But at least from our perspective, we play our part. Now, I didn't just stop there. I was able to work with some churches, like the Redeemed Church of God, the Redeemed Church in Nizo, Pastor Jerry Siawe. I was very close to that church. I worked with him. We rehabilitated a lot of the children. We brought them to the BDOTC, provided them free scholarship, and VDC provided them scholarship. In fact, one of the boys from Pastor Jerry Church, Mohammed, he was there. The guy was a good tailor, but he was being engulfed by drugs. He was rehabilitated. We employ him at the BDOTC. He's working there right now. He's one of the tailoring instructors. He got his own business. Those were things I was doing. Working with churches, giving the Outrage Children Scholarship. For to go to NVDC and BDOTC. Because those two institutions were under me. The issue of drugs It's a serious problem in our country. And that's why I tell people all the time, this issue should not be political. It should be a national issue, void of politics. Let all hands be on deck. Whether you for United Party, you for CDC, you for ALP, you for what? Civil society organization, our development partners, we all need to join forces. But let's ask ourselves a question, right? All of the arrests for our government, today our government, that have been made at the various posts of entry, has anybody sat down and figure out why we still having drugs cut through those port of entry? Have we asked ourselves that question? You know why? I will say this without fear, because some of our security people are involved. Some are involved. When our Minister of Youth and Sports, they were training at Zimbabwe, they used to come to me and give me name of people that are involved. I pass it on to the LDEA. Where they did with that information, I don't know. And I'm very security people. Look, you want to play football, I can tell you this, there are those security people involved. I'm not just making bogus accusation yet. But we're playing football. Drug was in the country, coming in the country on the seaport, development area. And trust me, I knew top people from the police station who are involved in that. I'm telling you this. Why you think every time they're arresting these people at the very port of entry, but the drugs can just start coming from there? Have you ever thought about that part? There is some network somewhere, and I hope the police and the LDA, other security people, can look deeper into this and we, those bad apples in the security apparatus who are involved in this thing here, to get it out of the system. I'm telling you, I know it for a fact.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you just returning or turning to the show, we are getting some bombshells. A week or two ago, when they were doing this parade in Monrovia, I made it clear here that it was stage managed. And I made it clear that when I was growing up in Buchanan, we used to chase the roads. People got plenty. The road would join the group, and we all running behind the road. The road steps saying, roll, 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 roll. Nobody know where the road is. That's what happened in Monrovia. When the government joined those campaigning for anti-drug, the government people, the security people that you are talking about, the men and women, that the LDAA deputy director, they all joined saying drug, 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 drug. But then we are wondering, who are the organizers? Who are these people? Nobody knew. It was a faceless march, but they were beautifully dressed. The placards were nice, great graphic designs. You want to know where that money came from? This is what the Honorable is saying here, and I have been vindicated. And today I was vindicated by the LDEA deputy minister. He didn't say the wheels. He said it at Mecca, at the Ministry of Information briefing. He said, he put a hand up. He said, I say it openly here from the executive, the first branch of government, to the judiciary. You go in these sectors, you will find somebody with drugs. He said, and the simple reason is drug is very lucrative in life, and everybody wants money from drugs. This is it. So, Honorable Nagbe, I have been vindicated. I told you this. All those people that were running behind the road, that big group you saw saying road, road, the road was among them.
Yeah.
That road was a phantom, Phantom of the Opera. The face is.
I mean, yeah, you did say that, and others did, and then the deputy DEA chief, Fofana, I believe that's his name. Just openly said that recently, and now listen to this. I mean, and so it really I mean, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? If those who are supposed to help us, solve the problem are themselves, part of the problem. I don't know what to say. But Mr. Minister, thank you again for the time. Can you talk to us a little bit more on what the Senator Subway Boy Charles is proposing, and see if we can just oppose that on the ministry's ability to fundraise? Because it looks like even when you tried, there isn't much help coming from the budget, the national government, and so I'm thinking in terms of what other mechanism we could look to help fundraise and fund some of these activities. Then you may also please want to talk about the youth empowerment project. I know you talk about some of the people who graduated, some are now self-employed, like tailors and stuff like that. But can you talk to us a little bit more on the rehab, the component that dealt with the process you follow, not the counseling, but how long it took you to detox and return these people to some normal life? I know.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and the
So-
is doing something like that. So I don't know whether they can tie into that.
So basically, we were a team. The president constituted the outrageous steering committee that was chaired by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So we did a joint concept document with the UN system that the cabinet endorsed, and that's how we started the program. And the Ministry of Health led the entire process when it came to the detoxification. We were in 4 counties: Monserrato, Bomi, Grand Bassa, and Magidi. The ES grant in Dopoh, we used it for detoxification. They were good for 2 weeks. Now it was voluntary. We recruited over 400 children. But many of them came with different notions. They say, oh, we want to get yourself, you will get your money. They decided to leave. The LDA was there, police were there to protect the facility, but we did not force anybody. So they go through two weeks of detoxification. First of all, then they go into rehabilitation. Rehabilitation, I believe, was between 6 to 8 weeks. After that, we provided vocational education. And the Lutheran Church was very instrumental in helping us. They were part of us. There was this Lebanese NGO in Bikana called Mother of Life. They called it Umelu. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. They were part of the program. The clay facility, Ms. Mo in Kakada Magidi County, we use that facility, and we use the CH Reading facility as well to carry on all the program, and we're very successful. That's why we were doing. That's why we agree with the UN system that it will be 1-to-1. The government bring 1 million, the UN and our part will bring 1 million. The government brings in 2 million, they will bring 2 million. But the program was started initially entirely by funding from the government of Liberia. The 500,000 we used to start the program, that money came entirely from the government of Liberia. At the time, I was working with the UN system to get a contract signed to conclude a deal. And when it got concluded, we signed it. We had to leave office. And that's why we passed the information on to the transitional team. And myself personally spoke to my colleague, Minister Torgbean, about it. And so I expected the government of Liberia to at least come up, even that is 3 million, come up with 1 million and match it with the people as 2 million, and we get something started. Because the issue of drugs, if we don't address it, my dear brother, it will be the next national security risk in our country. We already seen it. We already see how things are going. We have to address it. And look, I'm passionate about this. That's why I don't like people who like to use politics when it comes to the young people. Okay? I remember vividly, I'm not going to call name, when Senator Dillon was about to open a rehabilitation center, I have folks from my side running to me. Oh, Mr. Minister, we are to carry 100 children there. Let's take them to YTC. I said, YTC? He said, yeah. I said, but you know the condition on that place? I'm just put children there. Yo, let's take them there. We'll find the money. I said, look, let me tell you something. I am a guy who is thorough. I don't just do things hastily. I said, because if I take people children to YTC that had nowhere for them to sleep, no facility for them to use bathroom, no eat warehouse, dining hall for them to eat. I take the people children there because Dillon is doing something and some people jittery. And when the press come to me, President, we have to tell me, say, my man, you are new better. I don't want to get a beating. So I'm not doing it. I respect these children, their rights must be respected. I'm not taking people to chuck them in there because you see Dillon doing something, you must do it to know. Let Dillon do what he's doing. We take our time and craft our program and we launch it. And we did that. So the issue should not be political. Please, people, let's take it passionately. Let's try work with the government, everybody else to address the issue of the young people. It's a serious issue.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you just no, 1 minute. If you are
My
just
man, you shall be the last, man. Let Honorable ask a question.
That's our sedition down there.
Guys, if you are just joining us, we have former Minister Zioga Wilson here. In the next 2 minutes, we'll be going to the line, and we will take calls from our folks. He didn't just come to entertain Ahmed and Nagbe and everybody else. We'd like to hear from the people too. We want to hear what the people are saying. You remember the orator, July 26th orator, when he says, when you want to actually hear what the people are saying, listen to what the people are saying, listen to the song the children are singing. So we want to hear what the folks are saying. Myean, in 2 minutes, can you please open the line and let's go to the line. In the meantime, let me welcome Mr. Seaton. You are late to class. I wanted to punish you, but I have to bring you in. Welcome to the class.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm late to class. Mind apologies. But I'm happy to always be on the show for us to discuss trending national issue.
Wait, what was that president when you got late? You pick pin? What did you do? You put your finger?
It is good that Minister Wilson is here to give us some information regarding this whole youth rehabilitation when it comes to the use of illicit drugs. But Minister, before I go further, we didn't see you in Delaware this gone and July 26th. What happened?
Because I'm not invited.
There you go.
Oh, really? But I am there. So anyway, but again, my concern here is that why is it that
Myean, when a call comes in, you'll let us know, okay? Go ahead, Chief.
my concern here is that why is it that I don't know what else during your administration as
Mr. Seaton, hold on 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to call, you can put your calls in 0777 9986 0777 So also for Kia Radio is 0772 176273. For Kia Radio is 0772 176273. That's the number to call tonight.
Mr. Nagbe, I'll send you something inbox.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Minister, I know your administration, you inherited the whole situation when it comes to the use of illicit drugs in the country. My concern and question is, why is it that when you came to office, you did not put in place a national plan of action to address this situation?
I mean, you late to the show here. That question be answered. We have a plan.
That's what we say.
We even completed the rehabilitation of 120 at raised youth that this government graduated because we were leaving office by then. We had a national program. You late.
Thank you.
That's what happens when you late. You go to church, you go to sleep with the pastor say, who all want to go to hell? You jump on and put your head.
But now this plan, is it being followed by this current administration?
You need to ask the Minister of Youth and Sport, my brother.
That's right. Myean, call the numbers out, and Mr. Sito, you are dealing with a politician now, so your question has to be crafted.
So can I ask my question now?
I know.
Yes, go ahead, Ahmed.
Minister Wilson, you seem to be very passionate about a united front working together, especially on issues that confront the country and all of those things, this and that. And then you are a believer in the issue of government's continuity and always good to perhaps reference the old people and all that kind of stuff. But there's been one issue that linger. I just want to get a take on it, having been in the public space for a very long time. The former president has said repeatedly that since he left office, the current president never reached out, never invited, and never gave, that cordiality, that invitation, that embrace, that picture of, look, for the sake of the country, let's do this together, let's work together, stuff like that. There's this tension, there's this bad blood. What will you advise in that direction? We're all being guilty, but
well, look, I believe President Bouaka is the president of all our Liberians, including former President Weah. So he's our president, he's our father. Everybody honor his wing. So our people say no babu to throw a child. Even there were issues where he and President Weah during the campaign, he won the election. So I think it's incumbent upon him to reach out. But also to the two-way street. He's an older statesman. He's like a father to George Weah too, former President Weah. I think if he had not reached out, that President Weah, former president, let him reach out too. I mean, a two-way street. We gotta foster the peace and unity both ways. If he doesn't reach out, that President Weah reach out. But I also heard one time, I said be corrected. When the president was coming to America one time, I am told, I don't know if for a fact, when you were trying to push this issue of Liberia being on the United Nations Security Council, something that the Weah government started. When President Bouaka was coming, I'm told, like I said, I stand to be corrected. He wanted both former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and President Weah to come along with him. And it is my understanding, like I said, I stand to be corrected. President Weah turned down that offer. Is that true?
Yeah, what I heard, and that extent to be corrected also was that I think the former president thought that when the Bouaka government came in, the numerous disrespect denying him from using the airport lodge, he felt there was just too much of disrespect accorded him. He couldn't even pass to use the lodge. He couldn't go to the airport. I mean, all kinds of different things threatening to take away his security. And so I think it just elevated the tension around that. It just happened around that same time when those invitations were given. I think so. I am not 100% close with the information, but I think if there was some resistance to his attendance as a result of those different pushback on him, Kula Fofana, they announcing that only one president, so I think all of those bad blood was there. So,
but him. Your excuse is true. Listen, you let me talk now. What you are saying is true for me is weak. Because I think President Weah has gone through worse than that. So that should not be a reason why you would have turned down an invitation. That's my perspective.
Yeah, but I didn't say that's the reason. I just want to.
We speculating. I said if I use conditional term if. I mean, you must go view.
Okay, I know. Hey, Pastor Menobo.
Hey, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned.
07764996 0772176273 are the numbers to call on tonight. Since if you have called there, you just left, 0777649986 plus 231 777649986. So let me see whether we can pick up this first caller, international call, on the line here. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Wow, I cannot get that person. So let me take this local call. Hello, caller.
Good evening to the peaceful people that who are logged on to this discussion.
Okay, your name and where do you call from?
Thank you, I'm Joshua. I'm calling from Dopoh community.
You hearing the caller?
Yes.
I can hear him faintly, breaking up.
Can he be
But,
audible?
but you can relay the question to me, no problem.
Here, the former minister for all of the SOB are part of the show. My question is, I want to know between the former minister and the current minister, what are their relationships? Following me, thank you.
The former youth and sport minister and the current youth and sport minister, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, you heard him, right?
I don't. You say what between the two or what is that? What was the question?
The current relationship between both of you. So just keep that question. Let's see what we can take this next person.
Yeah,
Hello,
no problem.
where do you call from?
Oh yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
My name is Toa, and I'm calling in the U.S.
Okay, make your point.
Okay. Yes, I have the question to say. I have a question.
For Care Radio, you can call 0772 1760. Care Radio, you can call 0772 1763. That's the number.
Is it a new thing? How long you think it's been happening? That's what I want to know. Like, I mean, how long you think it's been happening in the country?
How long you think the job's been happening in the country, right?
Yeah, like how long? Is it, if you had to guess, has it been in the last 2 years, the last 10 years?
Okay. So to add up on that, your question, until we are with call, let me ask Mr. Wilson this question where he made a statement not too long. I just point that. So to put your
So let me answer. I'm gonna answer the question quick.
Yeah, answer the two questions. Let me add up to
The first question is that Kehleboe Gongloe is a friend. You remain a friend of mine. Secondly, I said when I was playing football, they drugged me were around, right? I started playing first division football at age 17 or 1982. I'm 61 years old now. You do the math. You know how long it been existing. And I sure it was existing before my time. But when I was playing football, I knew it existed. And I knew for a fact that security people were involved into it. I was 17 years old playing first division at the time, 1982. You do the math. I'm 61 years old now. So you know how long I've been existing. And prior to my time.
That was marijuana at the time. That was not kush and
my man, you don't know what kind of drugs are bringing in the house. They got tete. Oh, you know about tete?
Tete la table.
Oh, but that was drugs. That was drugs. That was drugs was used at the time. My man, every era get our own thing. They understand that part.
Yeah, please be audible.
Yes, I said I'm a doctor, but I'm calling from the highway.
Okay, make a point.
Well, I want to thank the minister so much for you. I just want him to throw light a little bit and giving credit to people that you are succeeding and for what they have done. I don't know what is in front of me actually. So our political era in Nigeria that your predecessor did something that was worth it, and you are coming maybe to continue and you are asked, I don't know whether it is good to give credit. Are we seeing it in our new dispensation?
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Wilson, will you answer this question and then I ask mine?
Yeah, no problem. Look, in a political arena, you will find it difficult for the government in power to be giving credit to the other government for a project they completed. So, for me, it's not something we waste our time on. Every government want to show that they're doing something. Yes, government continue with it. The Liberian people know the project that President Weah started, and he didn't end it. And those projects that the current government ended, the people know. They are not naive. Like for instance, the Italy Junction, everybody know the Weah government started that project. The merry-go-round there, e-traffic, it was started by Weah government. Today, President Bouaka completed it. He will take the credit. But however, the Liberian people know who started that project. My dear man. So for me, taking credit or giving credit is a no issue for me because the citizenry know who started something and who ended something. That man respond to that. It doesn't bother me whether we get credit or we didn't get credit, but Liberian people know what was started with the Uganda government and where they stopped and where the Baga government is completing, where they're taking on. That's credit. And if they don't do it, it will fall on them. And I told you I let 3 million out of our RAU. If they ain't use that 3 million, the US people use it, and that program, that natural death, who will take the blame? And at them. So that two-way street. I don't lose sweat over the one and sleep over that one. The Liberian way. I put it simple English. Like good English, eh?
Okay, so you can put your course in 0.
That beautiful English.
998607764986, and also for Kia Radio is 0772176270. So, Mr. Wilson, I would like to know, you talk about something which I draw my attention, where I interview that's evangelist Myean Blai a few days ago, where he made this allegation that in the past regime, the George Weah regime, we had a lot of government officials, senior government officials, who were transporting drugs within our country, and then they were using Liberia as a transport train to transport drugs from Liberia to another country. And you mentioned about you serving as a former minister, but then you were minister. You received a lot of information that some where the names were within this same drugs issue. How can you clarify that in terms of you being a minister, but then you could not blow alarm with some of the members that were attached to this drugs issue?
Well, I can say this emphatically. All of the info our radio train were giving me, cabinet ministers' name were never mentioned to me. Name mentioned to me, yes, was an official, but official in the government, but in the security, not a cabinet minister. So you need to ask Evangelist Blai, let him give you more details on your question, but for me, there were none of my colleagues ever mentioned to me. Only someone in the security was mentioned, and he was an appointed official. That I know for a fact.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
We have a lot of calls that have been coming in, but it's because of this same question. So 0777 649986 +23. Let's take this caller on the line. Hello, caller. Your name and where do you call from? Are you getting the caller?
Yes.
Oh, fine. I got you very loud and clear here.
Okay, make your contribution tonight.
I congratulate you all in studio there. So the panelists are in there. We're seeing my former playmate who talking rubbish in that studio.
No, you cannot say that to our guests. Just be straight to the point instead of attacking personality.
Okay, then I don't think that Zoka is giving you the correct answer to all questions that come to him.
So what's your point?
My point is there. He will see in there that he drops for his utterance.
Okay, thank you. You cannot be able to attack our guests personally. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, your name and where do you call from?
Yeah, I'm
Ben calling from Gibraltar.
Okay, make your contribution tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much for the show. And I thank the woman, thank you. You see that there, you see, you just tell the right thing to the young man. The man is providing every information we must demanding for a tolerance. This studio. They should also go to the United Party memo. Sometimes one day they will call them because 8 hours. I saw more than 2-3 questions. But the woman is answering every question he put on Mr. Wilson, he answered it the right way. You see what the young man just did here, now he just get there and started talking about the man he's talking about it. That's an insult to the woman. Well, I just tell him thank you for a thorough institute because we'll have the next Julius that will talk a lot of things, but he providing a full information for us. So Mr. Wilson, I say kudos to you. Thank you very much for your information that you have provided for control of press. Thank you.
Okay, let's take this
You're
next
welcome,
call.
thank you.
Hello, caller. Your name and where do you call from?
Oh, my name is Myean. I'm calling you from Pinsville tonight.
Okay, make your point.
Okay, let me say hi to your panelists as well. And let me say thank you to Minister on the platform tonight. My question to him is, you know, our country right now, when it comes to the issue about drugs, is a major concern. And normally when most of our government officials take the radio to discuss national issues, they are always intellectual. And this issue about drugs is a practical approach. So my question to the minister is now, what is the practical approach the government is taking to address this drug issue outside of us just intellectualizing it every time? Because if you see most of the youth that are affected by this drug, they are willing to get rehabilitated. They are willing to, come forth for transformation. So it requires a practical approach. So I want to know what practical approach this government is taking to address.
So for clarity, he's a former minister, not current.
Okay. So I want to know. So saying you are a former minister, what difference can he, attribute to then and now? What did he do at that time that was more better, that helped the situation as compared to now?
Okay.
Please, tell the difference.
Thank you. Let's take this next
All
call.
right, so I got a call.
Okay, something, go ahead.
Hello, make a point. Your name. You get it? You're hearing?
No.
No, so 077764996 plus 2310777649986 and also 077176273. Let's see if we can take this call, something. Just hold on. Hello, caller. Yeah, your name and where do you call from? Stay away from your monitor.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. My name is Prince Samuel and I'm phoning from PNZ tonight.
Okay, make your point.
Let me say hello to the former minister. Mr. Minister, this is my question. I want to know, during your 6 years as Minister of Youth and Sports, those things that you did that are related to maintain the country meet that we used to watch our game 7 o'clock up to 9, 10 o'clock. What is different? What is improvement have you seen in this regime? They say, yeah, you sometimes, the requirements is a friend. What are the reforms that they have brought to strengthen the national counter sports team?
Okay, thank you. Let's take this next caller. Hello, caller. Your name and where do you call from?
Hello?
Yeah, make a point. Your name and where do you call from?
My name is Anthony Bina. I call from Transon Community.
Okay, make your point.
Thank you to the minister. Honorable Minister, my question to you is that when doing your talk about the waterway project, what was your effort to the waterway project and there was not to help the youth on that project to make a living? What was your effort to them? Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. 077764996 plus 23164 9986. And also we have 0772176273. The numbers to call tonight to make your contribution on the closing argument. Let's see where we can take this next caller who is on the line here. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from?
Good evening.
Yeah.
This is Karama Masali Adu joining from Plainfield.
Okay, please be audible. Go ahead.
Well, I want to tell my honorable minister, thank you so much for the expose, because in our country these days, when someone having to tell the truth, people always go against them. While all your things still there, that's the truth. How a patriot should live. So I want to thank you so much and continue the good work. May God bless you.
Okay, you're welcome. Let's see what we can take this next caller who is on the line here. 0777649986 0777649986. Let's take this next person. Hello,
So I
caller.
gotta call that person.
Okay, yeah,
Let's give
something
an
go ahead.
international call. So caller, good evening. Your name and where you call from?
Good evening. So my name is Myean Osoma, and I'm calling from Northern Virginia.
Okay.
And I want to say thank you for having me on the show. Look, the issue of drugs in Liberia is a global crisis. This is not just in Liberia. Even countries that have killed border, they are battling the issue of drugs. Well, as we discussed in Liberia, local Liberia, for example, Alberta, we can protest, we can rally, we can call people in for drugs. The party is not going to solve the problem. Liberia is an open country. If you want to know how dangerous and how easy it is to smuggle drugs into Liberia, go to the border, the land border, the border between Liberia and Sierra Leone, the border between Liberia and Guinea, the border between Liberia and Africa Coast. Go there at night. Those places are wide open. You understand? And two, we cannot be fighting drugs with hypocrisy. Most of the people that the government appoint in LDEA, most of the former drug user. Let's go back to the history of Kehleboe Gongloe. Let's go back to the history of some of the people that bought making who are accusing people every day of using of bringing drugs into the country. These are the people who started using drugs in the 90s and drugging 7, 8 years old children to fight war. These are the same people that were standing around and acting a hero that accusing people. Minister Wilson from a small boy town on the I used to live in his small house. I mean, he's a decent man. You understand? But we cannot fight drugs with an open border. It's not possible. We cannot fight drugs when we have people who been drugging children, 7 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, boys to kill their parents, drugging them, and we expect those people to come and fight drugs. It's not possible. So what we need to do is close the border. Even if you don't close the border or the land border, we should make sure that there is electricity, that there is light, because most of the border are dark at night. So when the place is dark, it's easy for people to cross over with drugs. So what are we doing to electrify the borders? Enforce security, like immigration officer or even the armed police officer.
Okay.
So if you don't do this, everything that we're doing is just going in vain, because as long as the land borders are open, drug will keep flying the country overnight.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, so let's take this caller. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from? Okay, make your point.
Okay, my point is that the minister are loading very well from Paro. But they put the vision to work, they put to ministers, they think that down. Yes. What did you get? When you not say theater, you suffer from one of Paro, you do about sports. What did you care about the youth? I request my question.
Okay, thank you. He will respond to you. 0777649986 plus 231 777649986, and also we have 0772176273 are the numbers to call tonight on the closing argument. So you can just respond to a few of the questions that were posted to you.
Yeah, no problem. So let me start with the guy that talked about the Vision Waterway program. Well, that program, we terminated that program because it became violent, and we thought that it was no longer worth dealing with the same group of people, and so it was terminated. We negotiated with them. We came to an agreement and we paid them off. And we established the Coastal Sanitation Program, aka TESI, the Temporary Employment of Community Youth. And that program was on until we left office. We were owing them 1 month. We passed it on to the new government. They pay the 1 month. For the starter of the program, I can't speak to it. We need to ask the Minister of Youth and Sports, but that's what I know. Because when we took over, we inherited 8 months on Beach and Waterway, and we paid that. But we get them 1 month. So that's what I can say about our program. The other guys say, what practical approach we can use to fight drugs? Look, I will say this much. We need to enforce the new drug law that was passed prior to us under Garguah, where under the law, people who are caught bringing drugs in the country, they are, if guilty, they are no longer, their crime will no longer be bailable. We need to enforce that. We also need to work on the comprehensive program we left there. If the program needs to be tweaked, let the current government do it. Government continue with it. But I don't think that program should just die. If the government get a new program want to bring up and trash that one, it is a prerogative. But I believe we laid the foundation and they get built upon that foundation. And lastly, I maintain my position. Seleke Kromah, the LDA boss, the people from the NSA, what have you, they need to weed all those bad apple in the security apparatus that allow these drugs keep coming through the borders. Look, it does not require rocket scientists. Today, in America here, the southern border, the troop that President Trump deployed there, you not see migrants cross that place? They can't go close to here anymore. Why I say we keep arresting all the drugs at the border and the people are brave to still be coming to the border? Folks, because somebody in the system is a party to it until we weed these people out and begin to prosecute people that are bringing drugs in this country. We got to take a STEM approach, and the government will make sure that the young people that are the drugs killing, that have become a national security threat, they are taken off the street and rehabilitated. We need to do that. So the other guys say, I play for Barrow or Minister, what are they? Well, I did my best, me and my team. If I look, let me just correct myself. Everything I've been seeing here about the Ministry of Youth and Sports, I did not do it alone. I had a team of competent young men and women that worked with me. We were there as the team that made it happen. So I might not give myself praise or credit, but I had a team. And everything we did it as a team. We did our best under the condition. We are out of there. We hope the government will continue on where we start or improve on other things we did not do. Is there another question I missed so I can answer them?
No, you've been doing very well. I think we have had you for 2.5 hours. We appreciate your work, your intellect. I will pass it over to Chief Tomalin George because I know he got another 2 hours to go. There's a second part of it. Did you guys lose a family member or a friend to the friend? Coming up next, Mr. George.
Yes, at 8 o'clock, we'll be having a special program in collaboration with the High Table, one of our friend and brother, well-known gentleman. He's well-known across the Liberian community. The late Senensi Jiso Freeman. He'll be laid to rest this weekend in Maryland. He graduated from the CWA in 1988, went on to the University of Liberia. He worked in several places, including the National Elections Commission. He migrated to the USA and was a very sociable person. In fact, he and I were together at our church Methodist Church reunion last year at the cookout. We were together, and we lost him. So esophagus cancer or something like that. Yeah. Very young man and vibrant, and in fact, he was one of our regular. We watch this show regularly. Whenever we meet, he always gives observation and so forth. So tonight, what we usually assembled in Maryland, called the High Table, they will be there live tonight. And the chairlady, Markan Randa will be there with the chairman, the Biomin Church, Cassell, and others, members of the High Table will be there tonight and will be paying tribute, both from Liberia, also who will not be in attendance at the funeral this weekend. Opportunity to recognize and to pay tribute to him. And we lost a lot of young people. Even yesterday, a guy who started a kindergarten classmate in Rhode Island, Gallo Cook, we lost him the battle. He lost him yesterday too. Gallo and I went to school together to go to kindergarten, Habel Kindergarten School. And he passed away yesterday in Rhode Island. So y'all young people going, and we all got to be. In fact, that's why we're having later on we're having a special sometime in next month, a special edition of the closing argument will be talking about men's health. A lot of things that we the men we don't like to talk about. It's a taboo. We feel ashamed about it, but we bring in professionals to come here and talk about it. Hopefully, people can talk. They help every one of us. There's some people who have battled prostate cancer. We have battled a lot of stuff. Even the men, some men face issue of erectile dysfunction, all these stuff, but they're not something they want to talk publicly. But we're bringing the expert to come and help us to talk about it here. Talk about these things, our own health. Once you pass the age of 40, I think you go for colonoscopy. Some people say for me, I started my own before that time because I'm very particular of my health, and I just had one this year. I'm not due for another 3 to 5 years, but they say about 5, I'll go there 3 years. I don't let them give me another 5 years business. I go there all the time and I do my procedure. It's good for us to know these things. People come and help us. Not only politics we talk about. We have women who come and talk about women's health too. I have a sister who's a breast cancer survivor. People can come and share their own stuff to help every one of us. Things we don't want to talk about. Let people come and talk about it, and maybe you'll learn from it, so that we all can do it. That's talk about exercise, walk. But a lot of things you can do. Whenever we meet, men meet talking. Say, hey, you're looking good, my man. You're looking good. I saw the former minister the other day. I said, my man, you're looking awesome. You're looking nice. And we share what's the secret behind it. We share it, and I learn from him, learn from me, just like that, and how we should do to help each of us. Not only when we come, we say rest in peace all the time. No, perhaps you'll be a help to someone who can save their life. So we'll be starting next month. People will come here, take the time and come and help us to navigate these issues. So that's what happened tonight. Later on tonight.
And thank you. Let me just make a comment on this issue. I thank you for highlighting this. It is very important. A lot of the time, we don't take care of our health. Our health is very important. The colonoscopy, it is once you reach that age, at least about 50, you got to do your colonoscopy. It is very important. A lot of us, and this is not only unique to Liberian men, black men as a whole, not even black men, men as a whole, do not like to go to the hospital because they believe that it's a waste of time. We are always on the run. But sometimes you need to take a break and go and do your checkup. Do your annual checkup. It's very important. You do your annual checkup because a lot of the things that is happening to our age group, these are things that can be addressed. These are things that can be addressed. As Tomalin just said, do your physical every day. If you can run, walk at least twice a week. Take it off. Sweat. And you know what I'm saying? Don't just sit in one place and just, have all of the good time. You gotta keep your blood moving. It's very important. And it's good that you will be bringing experts to, talk to us. and not only us, our listening audience, our viewing audience. I'll be honest with you, a lot of our people in Liberia, they don't even know that high blood pressure is the number one killer for black people. You understand? It's part of our DNA. And our people don't check their pressure. When you go and say, oh, the person here, he fell off or heart attack. Oh, he was not stable. No. High potential or high blood pressure is a silent killer. Your pressure can be in the sky. You don't even know. You get moving, you think everything is okay. When it hits that, when it strikes you, you're done. So, you know, it is very important.
Let me say we want to thank Minister Wilson again for his time. He'll come and share with us. It was important. And in fact, I just saw a clip from the show tonight. Our people already made a clip, some clips. I will listen to it later on. It's trending now.
I told the man they were kicking out of the other chat room. He didn't listen to me.
And that's how you do it. You know, taking news story out of this interview is important. People watching the show and people are concerned. But I mean, that's good, you know. Minister can defend his record. One thing I like about him, he's outspoken. He defended his record as Minister of Youth and Sports. He has been very, very, very strong in it. He had his own tough. And maybe our Dean of the Cabinet is here. The ambassador just entered. Maybe he got a question for him before so that gave him opportunity to the Dean to engage the minister.
Thank you. And I listened to the minister. He was
that's Sylvester Pewee. It look like you're in a smoke-filled room.
No, I'm sitting also on the balcony. I'm outside.
I'm talking about Pewee.
Oh yeah.
I probably the light.
Pewee does cigar.
Maybe taking a shisha.
You know that's the 1 year old man.
Who me?
Tell him that Melody younger than the 1 year old. But that's good. That's good. Go ahead.
Yes, I listened to the minister, but again, he never disappointed. Some people would say, minister was to the point and very eloquent, and he justified and defended his record, and that's where every professional you always move to justify, defend your record, and move on. I thought his role at the Ministry of Youth and Sport for the 6 years period, he was not only that he was professional, but he drew a lot of youth program, the TVET program. Yeah, it's a feedback. Yeah, there was a lot of the TVET program came alive on a serious note in terms of and the different technical institutions. The MVTC was more or less that institution today is very vibrant, training a lot of Liberian professionals in very technical areas, skills area. And that's one of the major things in the country we need. We don't need too much. Now, we agree that the college degree will have to go, but we can blend that with a lot of technical degrees where we'll build professional plumbers, electricians, and all of those basic area of different professionalism. So I thought we should say he's here today. We should say that he's out of government now. But I think he played a very pivotal role in terms of the forward march of the country. We didn't have all. They said Moke want to box, but the hands are shut, right? There were other exogenous factors putting down the way and other things. But I thought he performed his task and he will be remembered.
Man, you didn't address your background. All they talking, they say you're doing your little shisha.
No, it's not. I don't. Let me say this for the record. You want to distract me? Let me say this for the record. I don't smoke. I've never done before, and I don't intend.
I'm just messing with you.
It's the light. It's the light. The light on the light. You know that's.
We just throwing joke at you, Billy.
Nobody say anything. You start talking about smoke. What?
No, the message shisha, man.
So, guys, let me make my parting statement. I got it wrong.
There's one question they asked the minister. He didn't answer it.
And what was that?
And I want the minister to read it through. Like if he would not answer it that way, I want you to give an opinion on that. Now, the court asked you if President Weah would be contesting, and you say, with President Weah come back to the presidency, and you say you don't know yet, and you don't know if he's contesting. So I want you to further elaborate on that. Are you really serious about that? You don't know if he's contesting, or you just Or are you not in touch? Okay, let me put it this way. Are you in touch with the current president?
No, I'm not.
Okay, because the way you answer it, that's the reason why I will have
Because the question is, I don't know whether President we are a contestant or you want to contest. It's just the honest answer.
No.
I can't get no other answer than that.
You say you're not in touch with the former president?
That's why I asked, are you
No,
in touch with him?
no, I'm not.
Why are you not in touch with him? He's a good friend.
My man,
I come in, Mr.
I
Minister.
just told you.
You're about to run. Quickly, I come in, Mr. Minister. I know you're about to run, and I really wanted to also have some conversation the last time we met this weekend, but we didn't have it. It was just a quick chit chat with you, and any moment with you is very reasonable and meaningful. But I want to be why are you not in touch with of a very good friend and your former boss and the former president of the republic?
Oh, well, my man.
Is there any bad blood?
I don't know any bad blood. The fact is, I reach on kind of occasion. I'm not getting a return. You can keep pushing it. Maybe he busy.
He keeping you incommunicado. You think it's deliberate?
Well, I don't know. But one thing I know,
that always the end of the show, the boys we all gonna think also.
I've reached out on kind of occasion. I'm not getting response back, and I chill. No hard feeling.
So
What I ain't communicado or why, I don't know. But at least I've done my part. So I leave it at that.
Is he seeing your contract?
But Pewee, what more you want to Pewee, what more you want to answer now?
I finished telling you.
Are you in contact with best one guy feeling every day? No, but you get the better answer the question where you want to medal.
No, I come in. That's the last question. That's the last. Just 2 seconds.
You were asking a legitimate question.
Two seconds, please. So
the man answer.
Does the former president actually recognize your contact that is coming from Zoga Wilson or Minister Zoga Wilson?
How am I supposed to know?
But how have you been communicating with him before?
Oh, because I get a number and he got my number.
Okay.
So why be on the other side? Why be on the other side? I don't know.
Mr. Wesley, Tomalin just said the president, the former president is following the show. If you have a word to say to him today in line with him not picking your call, what would you want to say to him?
No, I'm not going to talk to the president in public.
Oh, but I mean, you could tell the please pick up your call.
No, I don't have to. He's been my friend for over 45 years. I don't have to beg him to pick up my call or respond to my text. I don't have to. The same way he doesn't have to beg me or ask me to pick up a call or text message. Plain and simple. Great. So I leave it at that.
Great. I know you're making a partner comment, but let me just ask you this. Have you heard
you gotta leave it, man, now.
Wait now, Jerome, wait. Just give me 5 seconds.
I'm in law now, you gotta go to sleep.
Have you heard?
Have you ever what?
CMT not going anywhere.
Hold on. Have you ever what?
CMT is not going anywhere.
What is CMT?
The man even know what CMT means.
The man call it CMT. The man call it a CMT. Well, because Honorable Wilson,
that's Tomalin telling.
Let me make this comment. The minister said 3 things that I picked up. He said circumcision is prevalent in the CDC.
What? Say that again.
Sacrifice is prevalent in the CDC. Then he says he was never a sedition. That was number 2. And number 3, he said he never received a turnover note from the Unity Party when he took over. Those are the 3 things that I told. Honorable,
all the planet did a mentor that one day.
I know.
All the planet mentor from one of the hours that one of the
CDC. So Jerome. You know in CDC they get reaction, they get citizen, right?
That's what you said.
So why is that issue?
No, it's not an issue.
It's not an issue.
Okay. You said
why you want to capture your short note?
Listen, say hi to Sandro for me and I'll come look.
All right, look, guys. I'd like to thank you all for having me tonight. And I'm always willing. Yeah.
And yes, summary, include the summary of our now funeral. Your at least for us who attend the funeral. Just give a summary of it before you close.
All right, no problem. So again, I want to thank all of you. Jeremy, I'm talking now.
Yeah, no, we want to take the logo above your head.
Who me? Ultimately, me.
Go ahead.
So I want to thank all of you for inviting me on the closing argument. I'm always willing whenever my services are needed to come and throw light on issues, and I appreciate the conversation tonight was respectful and honest. What I want to say to those officials of government, especially our legislators and senators who were in the march, my message to them is, don't get march and say no to drugs. Do something. You have the power or the poise. Every budget from the executive branch is approved by the legislature. You try to do something about it, drug, and don't just get in a march. Please, let's do something. And I'm not saying it because I want to shoot down anybody. No, I'm just being honest. I saw people in the march. When our minister, I went to the Senate about 2 or 3 times on the irate youth. I went to the House over 3 times on irate youth. Nothing much was done from the body. So don't just get in the march. Do something. You have the power to do it. Look in our budget. Some funds there that if you're not necessary or area there, take it from there, put it to irate you. Empower the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Empower the Ministry of Health. Let them do something about the drugs business in our country. That's my message to all those who are in our march. Now, we are the funeral of the Guns weekend. Albert Tabala now, he passed, a legend, and he had a very good homegoing. We all showed up, majority all showed up to bid him farewell. Friday night, Saturday, all day. It was a very touching. In fact, we made it so it was too much entertainment that there were not too many people that cried because we were celebrating his life, his children, adorable. And, you know, Dagwe and Sima, they are so nice children, good children. His family, and, you know, his friends, and, you know, so it was a good thing. We know his wife was not there because she was in Liberia, but I know she followed the program. I know she and her friends and family, they also celebrated too. But Abana was a good soul, and may his soul and the soul of all faithful departed rest in peace. And thank you, God, for the show tonight.
Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you. Tell Sandra hi for me, and I'm coming to look for her.
When how many times you want everybody must
I don't want you to forget. I don't want you to forget.
When you
I don't want you to forget.
Whenever you say you're going to look for somebody, I'm coming to look for. Come here. I cannot take it to the bank no more. Yeah, I cannot take it to the bank no more. So last time you said to us, "Oh man, don't worry. The minute
they want our family. They want our family."
All right, guys. I see you, Mayor. Thank you so much.
Okay,
and say hi to Sandra for me. Tell her I'll be coming to look for her.
You see, I came on the show, but I've been fighting the show, right? You know, sometimes it's important when we have public officials on the show, past public official, and on the show, not because he was on the show. I think Mr. Wilson worked before in the Ministry of Youth and Sport and as assistant minister. Then he came as minister proper. I want to believe when he hit the ground running, he knew his responsibility. He knew what he was out for and the challenges and the task. There was the kingdom task ahead of him at the time, inheriting a youth and sport ministry that was already set up by the past government, yes, but with a lot of challenges also. But I thought he put a thought process to play, and he showed that a lot of things did happen under his stewardship as the minister at the time. So it was one of the reasons why I was trying to do those things. But, you know, politically, we all are politicians, and we're not here to make on comments and things. And that our own brother, I may have made no, he said, live in the time we will pull people off on the show. No, not that. But there is an open secret that there should be there seems
Quote
to
me,
be some.
come back, quote me again. What you said, sir?
You know, I may say, you know, I love you. Trying to boss and I put the last question. Now you're saying, you know. So, but it's not about that actually, because I did follow the question from the caller. And the way the minister answered, I thought myself was not pleased as to the way he answered. So I wanted to push it a little bit to give more clarity. It's an open secret. You would tell us you are ardent citizen and been committed to the party for many years. It's an open secret that there seems to be some bad blood between the minister and the former president of Liberia, his boss, and the political leader of the CDC. So we as political pundit commentators will be pushed to ask some of these questions, a real-time question. And you saw his opening statement, and I did follow that also. He also intimated that Safwa Megre instructed that he be removed from a chat or group chat. And if that was performed, so that Safwa will instruct because he's given an opinion on certain issue. The last time he appeared on this very closing argument, and Safwa Megre instructed someone to remove him from the chat room. And I believe that, in a political institution like the CDC, that's a very huge political party, a grassroots-based political party, there should be diversion of thoughts. People should have their own say in terms of issues that will differ, eventually come to the point to agree on certain issue. But if you are not tolerant to the level where you will remove a very senior official of past administration that contributed towards the fall of the very institution, that is tantamount to even putting yourself backward. And the too much of internal bickering, we have to stop. The bickering is too much, and that was manifested yesterday, recent time also. And someone will ask the question: when the United Party guys were in opposition at this time, when we was president of our country, and I believe we have did some extraordinary job in the country as president. But when we are president of our country at this time, the United Party guy mounted what I would call unabated attack on the government, misinformation, disinformation, and all those things. But what I've observed at this critical junction, the CDC themselves are not attacking the United Party people with all the mess that is unfolding, but they are attacking themselves. You saw from South Joseph a huge attack on this former president and the rest of that. A lot of CDC and coming, so there's too much of internal bickering. So I want to challenge the former president now to take the lead, take the bull by the horn, move to cease this internal problem in the party and try to mend fences and move on. And this is a critical junction. We headed to election up. So that is what I believe the president should do now. Leave everything, hold the bull by the horn, come and say, hey, we have some problems. Who's taking, what did Zoga do for you to remove him? Because this kind of a message that he has is not a good thing for people that should be prepared to join the institution. When senior members of the institution themselves are parting ways and lambasting and attacking and doing all those things.
The optics is wrong.
Pewee.
That's it.
Pewee. You know, I cannot agree with you more. Many of these people, unfortunately, that tend to create that bravado in chat rooms, you will barely see them on the public defending the party, defending Mr. Weah, or defending their own record. They don't come. They go in this chat room and they're where they try to attempt to appear like they're so loyal. So I don't want to give that thing much attention. But look, you know, CDC, we are going through a lot right now. So, of course, the best I can do as one of its leaders is to be a little considerate on how people feel. And so we try to reserve our own view, you know what I'm saying? Because in the face of these kinds of situations, there must be the cool-headed ones who, at the end of the day, can use that to bring the bridges together. But look, the former president of Liberia, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was expelled by her party. First of all, the party announced, after Ellen gave order, the party that they could not support her son, Robert Sirleaf, Wilmot P. The party expelled Madam Sirleaf. The party chairman, Wilmot P, left the party and went to Cassell's party. I make that point to say the way in which you handle these crises, because it's not unique to one party. How much was the noise around that time? Perhaps people even forgot that Wilmot P ever left the United Party.
Of course.
Perhaps people have even forgotten that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was expelled from United Party. Perhaps people don't even remember that the United Party announced that they could not support the president's son when he contested the position for senator and I think Ali Sila, if I'm not mistaken, on the ticket. But they handled it in a way that it did not show that the party was in a crisis mood. And I think CDC will have to adopt that approach going forward, because here's my thing for me. And that is why I've not spoken on this Joseph issue. Because, look, I've seen this play out before. Few months ago, sorry to call my friend, Tomalin friend's name, but Costa, wasn't he on the CDC tape? But in the finals, what did they do? They did not roll a red carpet for him because they felt when election needs everybody. I did not clapping hands for. So what I'm saying is that it is good to refute Sir Joseph allegations if they do not bear the facts and if they bring falsehood on people's character. It's good to refute it. It's good to debunk those ones. However, you cannot go to bed in a point where you want to cut off all bridges. Look, if the ultimate goal is for us to replace the United Party, we must understand that it will take more than the CDC base. Not even CMC alone can do it. It will take a united opposition. I keep saying that thing. Look, all that the people are doing here is for them to be on the table to form that part, that united goal. So why would I want to go in the process of creating animosity with people when eventually when that time comes, I'm going back to that same person, oh, you know, let's reconcile. And I will agree with you on this. If the former president is convinced in himself that he wants to contest the next election, he must understand it will require, if he's popular, it will require more than the popularity he ever had. If he has done the best thing for the country, since the country of 1847, he needs to bring more of that there. It will take a lot, which means unlikely, uncomfortable relationship and bridges will need to be built, because ultimately, that's the test to the presidency. When you become president, even the people who cost you every day. So that's the challenge we have, I hope. But right now, as I said, our party is going through its own challenges. Every party will go through that. But yes, I agree with the thing that if the United Party will think that CDC challenge will be the default of victory, it's a rude awakening, because as the minister said, it is about the bread and butter issue in the country. The bread and butter issue in the country. When the people wanted the bread and butter issue in the country, they were prepared to elect anybody when we went to that Monserrato election other than the CDC, because they wanted to send a message to us that they were not feeding the bread and butter issue. When that be the case in 2029, it doesn't matter whether it is weird that it's on the ticket, or it is the comment or the ability or what. If the Liberian people reach a point of desperation, they will cling onto anything. I think they call hope. CDC in a good position to be effective in that direction. They need to put the house in order. But of course, the former president needed to take the higher ground. And I think he did well. He have not spoken since this whole thing happened. His name was Milan. He's been quiet about it. I think that's a good start. But I think beyond that point, he needs to be more visible in the country now. It's getting serious. He needs to come put his party together and try to define the next point of action. But yeah, those chat room sedition warrior is more than that. You can't be disagree with people kicking the one other chat room, kicking that one other chat room, they want other chat room. I hate to say something. When they come up now and defend your loyalty.
Okay. That's enough for you. Honorable Nagbe.
Sarah already coming out to defend, to challenge what the minister said just now. So you see all this.
Yes, Mr. Nagbe.
What Sarah say?
One thing he
Sarah says,
order
to take the minister out of the chat room.
One thing he said was,
Sarah, that's small woman, man. He called CDC warrior.
He said, hey guys, come on now.
Sarah, that we are so Sarah that opposition.
Ahmed, please. Mr. Nagbe. I was shocked when he said he took over the ministry without a turnover note. Nobody even told him what was there, why they were leaving. Nobody showed up. No turnover note. How is this possible?
Yeah. I mean, that's LIB. I mean, I don't doubt him. I mean, tonight, You know, usually he's a little bit standoffish, but I think tonight he was pretty leveled and pretty measured, to use his own word. He also pushed back a little bit too. I think he's becoming exasperated with the histrionics from the CDC. You know, this public divorce that is going on here. I mean, again, we're not going to gloat over the mishaps of our brothers and sisters in the opposition community, but you know, we're watching with keen interest. They seem to have a problem with disagreement, you know, and he's used the word measured. You know, I would say tolerance. In politics, basically, it's persuasion. You know, I can't force you to do nothing. I can't force you to do anything you don't want to do. Sir Joseph or whoever it is, you know, associates with the CDC at will, and he is free to exercise his desire to depart. Yeah, people are hung up on what he said and what he didn't say, but what he said, most people have said most of the things he said. Most people have said most of the very things that he said. You know, Koji was sanctioned for some of the things that he said.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw Koji go on a university campus.
Mr. Nagbe, let me push back a little bit here. When Sir Joseph said that the CDC spent $150 million, that is almost 25% of the entire nation budget.
But then let him come back and let him come back.
And you heard what the Honorable said. He said he spent $80 million out of the Ministry of Youth and Sport. $80 million. So the CDC had the right to debunk some of the things he's saying, because if they don't do this, it will be a repeat of what happened during the administration, where they let him to fester, and then it becomes a reality. So they have to debunk some of these. It makes no sense to spend $80 million at one ministry. $80 million.
For how many years are you talking? What 80 million for 6 years? I'm too much.
The man was a campaign chair, though.
The man said his own money. He spent $80 million of his own money at the ministry.
Who man? Who spent?
Sir Joe got 80 million to spend.
I said you don't get 80 million to spend.
80 million?
80 million while LeBron.
No, that's why.
Of his own money?
You meant that
80 million US.
Where you take it from?
Where you take it from?
The Youth Empowerment Project. He's spending on the Youth Empowerment.
I come in.
80 million or 8 million?
80.
Does he have the record? Does he have the record to show that he spent that amount of money?
Did you ask Honorable Joseph or Senator Joseph if the figure he's speaking in, I mean the currency?
According to the chairman, most likely 80 million US, and he was saying, let's say the Ministry of Youth and Sport, the budget annually.
But why was he spending it on youth and sport?
Listen, I'm just saying that the ministry budget was like $6 million a year, right? 6 times 12, it would be no more than 72 million for 6 years. This man said he spent 80 million.
Then the question is, what is the record of the 80 million?
He said,
is that a true statement?
You guys,
where did he get 80 million from? What is the source of the money?
Hold back. Senator Joseph, as he been following the show, I sent the link. He asked me the link, so he's trying to come on the show. So don't hold back.
I don't think so. He's back on
the East Coast. He's back in at his base state. We just told me he's back. He'll come on the show, and you guys have an opportunity to engage. So don't hold back.
The senator is staying in the States?
Yeah. We just communicated.
Okay. Because I don't think that man can say 80 million.
It can be 80 million. It can be 8 million.
Wait a minute,
But even at that, I think what Sylvester said regarding the CDC is very important. You understand? And what you said, Ahmed, is also very important regarding the CDC. If the CDC is to take state power in the next election, this is the time now they need to start doing some strategic planning. In other words, you have to mend all of the fences that were broken. You can't leave anybody behind. You have to have a good communication strategy. Everybody speak with one voice, and there is unity within the ranks and files of the party. But other than that, I think it will be a difficult road for the CDC when it comes 2029.
I mean, I agree with you. And for some of us, I would now spend my time with the CDC only for it to go to lose another election. And so what we would do would differ on the part that we will seek the part of moderation, we'll seek the part of build bridges, we'll talk to the CMC, we'll talk to the ANC, we'll talk to even the people who angry within CDC to say, look, the ultimate goal is getting Bwaka out. And to do that, require everybody here.
Somebody call and say I've been biased. Your name and where you calling from?
Oh, they accuse me. See, you can't let it go.
Okay, followed the show from the start up to this point.
And you
that Kehleboe.
Yeah, I followed the show. The former Minister of Youth and Sports, Honorable Zoka Wilson, it was very clear when this question was raised that whether Sir Joseph spent $80 million Liberian dollar or $80 million United States dollar, the money he spent cannot reach even 10,000 US dollar. It's less than that. He was very clear on that. So, and we all listen to him. There is no need to create a doubt. If Sir Joseph has the balls to speak, maybe you should have called when the former minister was there and challenge his.
No, if you have the balls to call in, then you should come on the show and start calling on the show.
Well, all the other panelists who are not there tonight,
they didn't call it. You call.
So, Mr. Nagbe.
They say you call. They didn't call.
Yeah. In the article I wrote on the question whether you guys are dark horse or fleeting cloud, your man said, Gongloe said, you guys are fleeting cloud. Please be clear.
Let me actually follow this thing, gentlemen.
Well, let me finish the call. I think he's not done yet.
No, I'm making a little call to say. Here you go, rest.
No, but gentlemen, no, the senator will be appearing. So you're not wait. You appear. You engage.
Yeah, but before waiting.
The man say attack. The CMC is.
The man say Latino.
CMC, that's why a two-man show.
Who the two men?
Tomalin Joy, is that your telling the CMC?
No.
No, the message are two-person show, so I know you know why he's.
The men are fire thrower. They make you to throw flame. You are a flame thrower. Thank you very much for calling. You got your point through.
I want to find out this. I want to find out this before I know Senator Joseph going to come in. Senator Joseph is a nice, a good big brother. I respect him a lot. I got a lot of respect for him. I look forward to. I briefly met him on this trip, but we communicated. I look forward to having some chit chat before his departure to Liberia. But I think when the senator is on the show next time, we're going to take some time to ask him in more detail and you'll give some clarification. Probably most of his comments were misinterpreted, if you will. He meant well. I want to believe he's been an agent of change. He played a major role in terms of our first major pandemic that broke loose in the country when the entire Africa, West Africa, particularly that part of West Africa, Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone were engulfed by this very dangerous virus. He did play a role at the time, serving as a frontline soldier, ensuring that people receive some major services that even those first responders, trained first responders, were not willing to venture into. So he did play that role, and that won him some accolade and some popularity, even catapulted his approval rating in the country across. As part of the reason today he's seen as senator. Yeah, but before then, and I listened to the folks from the CDC, particularly Carol Gray and the rest of that. I thought when this kind of a thing come up, there's a way we have to be structuring how and more strategic in our response to this kind of a issue, other than that we just make it more flammable and dip in the crisis instead of trying to find some amicable solution to the problems. But I believe he's going to come and state something. But the amount of 80 million, I thought that was a ballooned amount that I actually mentioned. I don't think so. That we should not even be arguing about ourselves here about the figure 80 million. That is far an extraordinary figure. Even I would debate his own money 1 million or even 500,000. I would debate that. that this far. So I think he did spend some money. Of course, he spends on his own money, but we'll find out for him from the professional perspective. What I would hope is that we as Tomalin just stated, we will seek his appearance on the show, and he will take some time to break things down to a more understandable perspective where people from all sides will get to understand it. But I think
but reasonably though, Sylvester, at the time we are left, I mean, the rate was around what 170 something or something.
My last time in the country, the rate was around.
No, I meant during we are time.
Yeah, the rate around 170. I think the highest the rate might have gone might have been 189.
Before I left the country on the break of this government coming in. So
if you did
the rate is around, I think,
and what the rate is today?
No, I'm talking about at the time. If you did it math, this is around $450,000, which is within reason. I don't, as 178.
What?
178.
450,000 what?
$80 million that would be about $450,000 US.
If it were
Liberian dollar,
yes,
Liberian dollar.
$80 million Liberian dollar at that time.
And that's what I was saying here. I mean, if the amount is $80 million Liberian dollar, it's reasonable to accept.
But again, like Chief Down said, you will come on and.
But if it is $80 million Liberian dollars, but if it is if it is $500,000 US, I would dispute that.
Yeah.
So the Senator, you'll come on the show and we're engaging. But quickly, as we end, let me say this, right? The issue about the drug issue, look, until some higher up, like, we should not make no mistake. There's the end users are not the one that are causing the problem. They are like the guy said at the LDA, there are top people involved, and it's a lucrative business around the world. Okay, somebody involved. You saw what happened in Liberia, the drug case, $100 million drug case, and that case it just went out. Nobody knew what happened. That case, just a minister they said, oh, they couldn't prosecute it. They never had the power. I mean, they never had that case that went in the breeze. So there's someone involved. Top, like the guy said, the executive branch, somebody involved. The legislative branch, somebody involved. The judicial, somebody involved. So until we can be robust and take a strong action, and if they say John Brown is arrested and have been caught, maybe it will stop. So we are opening, asking anyone who knows about who involved in the drug, come on the closing argument, come and call their names, don't hide their names, come expose them. We'll give you the platform.
But Chief, talking about that, I think the platform should try and go after that Gui Fokpa guy, the deputy DEA chief. I don't have his contact.
I can bet the problem with them is Mr. Nagbe, most of the people you reach out of them, they're afraid, their job and all that stuff.
At least it went public, so I'm assuming.
Yeah, he was not.
So what we say now, we are opening, extending petition to anybody who knows, who can come on and say, look, I can call Tomalin George, Tomalin George in government, he want to know who's involved. Come and call a name.
We Papa only come on the show. He was
that's a national emergency crisis, and I don't think the Liberian government and the public, they are doing much about it. Okay, take for example, like St. Jackson said another day, when I issued about the $1 million, $100 million drugs were just said, why did I never march? You should provoke them. There's nonsense. We can't accept it. $100 million drugs in the country, then we say it just dismissed the case, but they never march. That is hypocrisy I don't like about them. You see? But that
time there was no CMC now, Chief.
Okay, but the reason we saw everybody making a big issue. We say no to drugs, but if there's
I think you're right though. I'm surprised that people didn't get in the street.
So right now,
I saw the chat room.
And that case was just dismissed on the technicality.
Just dismissed. And lastly, the issue about the human rights. Okay, we should take our time and go to the report and find out who didn't do it, because issue about extra judicial killings, judicial oversight, freedom of expression, labor rights, gender-based violence, war crimes, objectivity, and government accountability. I admire what the senator from Peabody did. He broke it down. Come on. So now,
yeah, but you got to talk about release too. We already put a government notice. CMC.
Okay. So once people come and discuss it and compare the governments that are being on reports that have been sent in 2006 to the point, come and find out whether there have been improvement. Okay, whose government are making an impact. So it's very serious to do this thing. We should think about doing it. It's urgent we do it, because it's a national crisis. With this drug issue and the issue about all I see every day in the virtual room, the CDC and you people fighting. All they're doing back and forth. This is where they tell it.
What you people did when the report came out, They tried to make the CDC headquarters the issue so that it provide a cover for that report. That report was damaging.
But it was
I come in now.
I got to stay. You call me up. But it was quite to someone sort. What they said, President Boyka, let me friend with him now. For the fact that he said, I received the report.
He acknowledged it, yeah.
Even apology, he played the idea, he acknowledged the report and say, okay, this is why I'm taking these steps to do certain things. And lastly, I'm watching to see what happened in Ghana, because in Ghana, the former president is there with the vice president. They will all go to that funeral. I want to see how be the interaction there when they all meet to that funeral in Ghana. We're watching Ghana carefully. What happened there? Where they will meet.
Oh, they go for the helicopter crash?
Yeah, they are there. The government, the security advisors to the president and the minister and the vice president are all there. Plus, the former president arrived there today, I think, with a delegation too. So we'll see what happens in Ghana. We're watching Ghana. Hope we'll see whether they will embrace each other. We know. We'll see whether everything is in good faith. We'll see what happens.
You think Jackie Appiah will be there?
Why are you asking me? Are you asking? What kind of question is that?
I said.
What kind of question is that?
CMC on the way to.
No, let me tell you something.
Don't start that.
No, let me tell you something. CMC, what you will not get from me. I will not take my MISA at CMC. I will not take my MISA at ANC. I will not take my MISA at MPP. I will not take, because you don't have anything that I want. What I really want is where UP is.
Yeah.
They will receive my MISA.
I like that.
Continue to fight with CDC. Look, let me tell you something. I talk to people every day, and sometimes, to be honest with you, when I write, when I speak, I try not to be political when I engage some of these things, because one, I do have family and friends in the country. I really do have family and friends, some of whom I care, I'm responsible for. So the difficult the country become, obviously it puts burden on me. So when I hear people tell me that the country really hard, in fact harder than the way you left it, sometimes I think they're just making it up, but then it worries them for our country.
So now, are you both of you are you guys in Canada now?
Who?
No, Jerome was in Europe. I was going to Africa. I didn't go, so we're alternating. I'm going tomorrow.
Okay. Where are you going?
Yeah.
But why are you flying around like that?
That your business?
We're working.
The people working. We're working.
Look. In my article, listen. Y'all need to pay me some money to provide your consultant for me. But that thing y'all do, you're joking. Y'all on flamboyancy. You ain't come to the real world. Y'all pay me. That one citizen can.
So, Mr. Nagbe, where are you going tomorrow?
Thank you. You got a good point. Thank you, and that's true.
Mr. Nagbe, where are you going tomorrow? And what's the mission?
Going to Halifax, Nova Scotia.
I come in. What is the mission there?
Don't worry about it. It's clandestine.
You want me? The boy on vacation, man.
Is it a vacation? Is it a political vacation?
Listen, man.
Pewee, you'll be in Maryland tomorrow?
They are.
No.
Okay, guys. Listen.
On Saturday.
Why on 40?
And Tomalin went to high table funeral. One of my boys from CW, man.
Oh, okay, they got
the program coming up here. So the program coming up right after here.
Okay, guys, listen. I got two things I want us to play on George Soros. At some point, we got to discuss George Soros.
George Soros or George Soros?
Well, he is Solo, eh?
Yeah, Solo. S-O-L-O.
Okay, L-O. When you say Soros, I'm
about
Liberia and Nagbe and Pewee from today, I want all to sign an opposition pact. No party attack on each other on the show. You get any issues there? We can't be doing that. Don't put out there. We'll tell them from Empower, my man.
But George Solo, that your party I'm attacking?
Oh, you mean no? I'm talking to that statement. No, go ahead. I just saying something.
Okay, George Solo was caught up into this human trafficking, sex scandal with his people from how do you call it?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Who is talking about George? The ambassador to Italy?
Yeah, the ambassador to Italy.
The former CDC chairman?
I got a tip, and then I got another one.
My man, I beg you, let the people who so can't talk about it there, but they can lead it.
That's a serious thing. What you said just now?
I mean, I don't know why you don't do background check on these people.
Go ahead.
No, we have to do back. Listen, if you are appointed and listen, and the reason why I'm asking you to come out what you just said so that we can hear it and try to do some discussion about it. It's important because he himself been very loud before, being very loud. Did a lot of accusation against some of them blatant, some of them intentional. Four people asked some hard question at the time against the former president. So if you say he got some issue and he going out as a public figure, right? And not only a political head, but the product of property of the Liberian government appointed by the president of our country, particularly to play a major role in diplomacy. And in diplomacy, you cannot be going to represent, particularly his role now is going to be Liberian ambassador to Italy, and also with concurrent representation to the Holy See. The Holy City, so you have to come clean.
But Pewee, you in a foreign service. When a president is nominated, don't the country do the same before they accept their credit? Then before the finalists gave you the thing, I think Italy did everything.
No, so you said yes. What I'm saying, the agreement will have to be accepted before the president come out with the nomination. That is the case. But if there's new issue coming after you, it's established. They can also revoke, particularly the Holy See. I've researched that for a very long time. They will, if they find out that you have some moral problem, you are not being morally upright in terms of things that can hunt you down. The Holy See can reject. They can.
But you wouldn't think those charges, Gayman is highlighted. You wouldn't think that would be something that at least will flag out immediately.
Well, that's why I'm surprised hearing from Gayman.
That's what they call it flagging. If nobody flags it, then that's what happened. That's why you are here in the media. That's what I'm here.
What's the allegation again?
I just sent you one, and I'm going to send you the second one.
Okay, send the second one.
Okay.
Why are you looking for the second one, Pewee? I just want to say, because of course you may not be a citizen, but you empathize with the party. You love the party, of course.
Oh yeah.
You don't mind seeing the party coming.
And I respect the former president.
So it's important for me to say why I may not agree with SARS rent and some of the things he said. Those will not be my words if I was saying in terms of.
So you say why you may not agree. So there's some. Is there some?
No,
I
said I would not. Those would not be my words if I thought I should vent or any anger against the CDC. If I felt I experienced anything shortfall, that wouldn't be my word. However, what I don't agree with is this mentality, and not just to see, but anyway, when people want to let a person leave, that no, you can't build like that. This game is a game of addition. It's not a game of subtraction, you know. And for me, I come from the point where everybody, even the woman who's selling Grumpy as a party member is important. But departure or his departure will mean something. So, you know, that mentality, in my view, it closes door to reconcile. Worst things happen in the game of politics, brother. Look, wars, that's not the thing. Like I said, a citizen can reconcile with Henry Costa. A citizen can reconcile with Yake. Then who they can reconcile with?
Exactly.
Yeah, so, you know, no need to something. You got an objective. Keep your focus on our objective, you know. And the former president wrote a very powerful statement and said, look, we should keep focused, don't be distracted, don't allow wars to make you have to go ahead and scatter. He wrote a very beautiful, inspiring note to the party member, asking them to keep focused. Of course, that's what you need to do, keep focused. You can't be, you know, getting so angry with this at this crucial time, and then you take focus on Joseph Boyka. You can't do that. You know, so for me, if you ask me, I want Fala to come back, I want Sir Joseph to come back, I want Boba Molu to come back, I want everybody who wants to call themselves citizen member to come. I hope we can reach a point where
what I would suggest, you know, it looks like there is not an agreement on how the party should react, because some of you are saying the right things that should be said. But then there are also some of the party members who are completely speaking outside of the party, you know, the script.
But Mr. Nagbe, at that point now, you can't expect everybody to speak the same particular way. Now, the most important thing, the man who is responsible to speak on behalf and for the party is the chairman of the party.
Correct. Which he has done.
So, you know, the matter with Sir Joseph was sentimental. Everybody had their own sentimental response. So it's understandable. For example, I would not fault my Uncle Koji for what he said, just as I would not fault Sir Joseph because it was an emotional thing and all those kind of different everything. But what represented the party's approach was that, look, Sir Joseph, as the chairman who says, Sir Joseph, you need to go and read things. CDC is your home, read things and come back. The things you said, they were not spoken with truth. It does not bear the fact. You need to read things and come back. I would think he was not saying it because he thinks that Joseph is the most powerful man. He was saying it because that's how a party chairman should speak. That's how a party chairman should speak in crisis. You cannot allow the crisis to determine your mood. People should not see your mood like you're broken down. You know, so I think he spoke like a statement. You know, internally he will solve that because it leaves room for him now as a chairman to call Sir Joseph back and say, okay, what happened? Why did you go the way you were? Oh, so. But Sir Joseph, I don't think the way you were was good. It was right. Because look, in 3, 4, 5 years from now, look, I'm telling you, it's the way really the leopard, they go get, I don't know what can go under the scene tree. You'll see it happening.
Shima go mix. But anyway, I think there's another show coming up.
Okay, guys. See you guys tomorrow. I will send you the other video.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.